Yo, what is up, yo? How you guys doing tonight? Cheers. I got Italian sparkling mineral water from Aldi. Hope you guys are having a good night. Thursday night. You know what that means? It's the day before Friday. Hell yeah. Weekend is beginning, my friends. The weekend is beginning. Let's see. We got a bunch of people here. Shout out to you guys for starting the old chatteroony a little bit early there. Nick Travaglini. Sup, dog? What's going on? Is that bright enough for you? Do you need a full-on blast of sunshine? Oh, I wanted to update you guys on the tall boy because I found out something today, which apparently I made this decision and forgot about it until now. But what is this? Knives Are Life. It's still on their website under Batch 1 Natural Titanium Plus Laser Bacon M390. So what's that? Vero? Some kind of Vero there? Let's see. Chris Warris. What's up, man? Channel member? I don't recognize that name too much. So what's up and welcome and thank you for being a channel member. My bad if I have chatted with you before. I just don't recognize that name. I don't know if you changed your name or you're newish. Anyway, thank you. Appreciate you. Ronald Dobbins, what's up, dog? Craig, what's up? Jim Miller, what's up? Let's see. Alice is here. Lefty's here. This guy's here. This son of a bee. It's okay. Sell me, tall boy. I forgive you. So on the tall boy, I was wrong. I don't even know if I talked about the quantities, but I will do so. Ronald Dobbins with the 2 bones. Everyone give this video a thumbs up. Yeah, you know what? Give this video a thumbs up. Please do that. It reminds me to go on and the funniest post on Instagram. Look at this. I might even get in trouble for it. Does that not look like a butthole and a ding-a-ling? But it's really a dude's head leaning down to kiss his kid, and his wife is holding the kid's leg. But it looks sinister at first. Yeah, I'll probably get the video demonetized just for that too. Let's see. Where is this stupid thing? Live stream. Why is it not showing up? Doesn't show up under lives, I guess, until after. But anyway, on the tall boy, we have 2 versions that we're selling directly. The purple nurple, which is this one, and the Jack Sparrow, which is this one. And in my amazing forethought, we ordered 150 in purple and 50 in black pearl. So I didn't remember doing that, but I must have been thinking about the nip. So when we did the nip drop, the purple one sold out real fast. And then the black one sold out. They took, I don't know, they took a couple hours longer. But ever since that drop, I have gotten questions asking for the purple nurple nip. I still get questions, DMs today, right? So I guess in my infinite wisdom, I decided that we would double up on the purple nurple to make sure there was more available in purple. and I took them away from the black pearl because we only wanted to have like 200 to sell directly. We don't like having a million knives out there inventory wise. So this run, I think, is 500 pieces, 100 each, 3 dealers, white mountain knives, blade binge, and traditional pocket knives, and then 200 directly through Divo. So 150 and 50. Now, of course, we have the samples that I have, the ones we've sent out for review and that kind of stuff. So it's not going to be exactly those numbers, but it'll be, it'll be give or take, well, take 10 off, maybe something like that. So I guess what I'm saying is if you want the black one, I guess try to jump on it immediately. I don't know what'll happen. People do seem really excited about the knife, but I never know what to anticipate. I think it was smart. I think maybe I went a little bit gung-ho there. Probably should have went 125.75. I'm kind of surprised I didn't. But that's what I decided to do, apparently. So I just wanted to give you that information. So if you're looking for the purple one, you probably have a better chance than you did on the nip. And if you want the black one, you probably have a less chance, but these took a little longer. So personally, the purple one is absolutely ridiculous. I like all of them. I'll be honest. I like them all. The purple one is my number one. I would say my number two, somebody's asking as well. My number two would be the blade binge, I think. I just really like the Brittany with the black. I have been using this. I need to clean it. So that would probably be my second choice. This is all personal preference. My third choice, I probably would go 80s. I really like the 80s look. I've never really thought to do 80s with all satin, but I think it's a good look. I also like the blade binge one because this one has no milling. So if anybody hates the milling pattern for whatever reason, you don't like radial patterns or something, this would be your only option without milling. So that's a good thing to point out. But it would probably go purple, Brittany, 80s. And man, I like them all. It's like really close. I don't not like any of them. I'd probably go black pearl and then go titanium, even though I really like the titanium one. I mean, I could convince myself on any of them, honestly. I like them all. So it's, we're talking about small things and none of them are like bad. Just the purple one is really the one that pops for me personally. I just love the vibrant purple, and then you have that fluorescent purple in the camo carbon. They did a great job hitting that purple, much better than the nips where we did the purple and lavender, which I also like, but this hits the purple a little bit harder. And then you have the studs that adds that extra pop, and the milled clip, that long back spacer. But they all have that really good look to them. So anyway, I'm not going to sit here and go over them again. I've talked about them at length. I don't want to bore everybody with it, but I wanted to mention the quantities on that in case that means anything to you. So there's 100 pieces for the dealers, and then we have 200, but 150 purple, 50 black pearl. Man, I really went at it with this blade. Let me see how that holds up. Let me clean it up. Ba-ba-dee-ba-ba-ba-doo, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-doo. cleans up pretty well. You can still see some of the marks. Maybe I need to, let me try some knife shield. See if that makes a difference. I don't know. But whenever I go with a black wash or a stone wash, it's because I don't care about cleaning it or having to clean it or whatever. It's kind of a user knife on purpose. So I also kind of beat the shit out of these when I get the samples so I can make sure that they'll hold up for you guys. You watch the alcohol just like eviscerates, turns like, yeah, see, that's a lot better. That was there. That mark was there. That's why I took this one, because it had that little mark on it. And these are pop marks from the stone wash. But yeah, the scratches are, looks like it was just tape and cardboard gunk. Today's EDC is a, let me see that. What did I say? I was, oops, I missed it. Somebody was giving me their EDC. My bad. I was trying to read it and then it jumped. I think the 80s would be better without the milled lines. Yeah, I think if we do another run of these, we'll probably do more with no milling, or maybe we'll do like a different milling pattern and do 50-50. But this one does look really good without the milling, surprisingly. You know, we didn't know where to go with that when we ordered them, so we leaned towards doing the milling. But if I'm being honest, if I had to do it again, I'd probably say no milling on carbon ones, you know, but it is what it is. They still look great. But I would tend to agree. I also think the 80s one would look sick all blacked out too. How many Timascus kits for the tall boy? 15. We have 15 kits. We do not have a ton of kits on any of the models that we are dropping like now, because we were testing it and we ordered them like all at the same time. So we didn't know how good it would be. We'd never seen it before. I'm gonna, I think, do a video where I disassemble the titanium one and put the kit on, because it's gonna look sick on there. The Zircuti looks amazing. Actually, if you look over here, something else showed up today. I don't even want to talk about it because we still have a long way to go, because we have the tall boy dropping, and then we're gonna do the nip slip at the end of the month, and then we'll start talking about that. But they showed up yesterday. I haven't even had a chance to look at them yet. So I am excited, though. I am excited. I like my tiger stripe. I want to get one and swap the blades. Okay. Did that one have a stone wash? What the hell was on that one? I can't even remember, dude. Said Stevie says, check out Brian F's awesome handmade goods on EDC Roundtable. Hell yeah. Check it out. Can't freaking wait to get mine in hand, says James Morgan. Shout out to Stevie. Go check out the round table, guys, the EDC round table. I believe Lefty 10 works over there. You get yourself some goods, I believe. You can use the Lefty 10 code. James Morgan was the one who said he can't wait. I saw Jim Skeleton's tall boy video today. Man, how long does that take him? Very good. Dude, he's unbelievable. His photography is ridiculous. And he's just a funny dude, and he makes good content. He has some of the best reviews, I think. I carried this today since somebody was telling me about their EDC, even though I missed it. Sorry. Carried my custom Sparrow Knife Co. Strix. This is a Lefty custom. I've got black Timascus or Zircuti that is not flamed on the clip and backspacer. Magna cut at like 64, I think it is. Hollow ground. Bark pattern on the tie. Rock pattern on the blade. This thing is sick. Then I'm carrying a new knife that I picked up today. I went over to my buddy Jeff's house. He goes by Tough Knives on Instagram. He's a knife maker. You guys have probably heard of Tough Knives. Awesome knives, great designs, and a good dude. And I've been to his shop a couple of times. He actually lives 10 minutes from me. I took back roads there today. It took me 10 minutes. But he has started a knife brand. So he got together with another knife maker, RSK, or I think is it RS Knife Works? Is it Knife Works? I think so. He designed the RS Chaos from Vosteed. So him and Jeff got together and they started a company called Ticonic. So it's like iconic, but it has a T in front of it. Ticonic. And you get it? T-I, like titanium. Ticonic, iconic, Ticonic. I think it's a good name. I like it a lot. So Ticonic. And they are using Vosteed's OEM or Vosteed, whatever, however you want to word it. They're working with you over there. Good dude. If you guys know you, he's kind of the R&D guy and owner of Vosteed or part owner or whatever it is. He's the guy who invents all the locks and shit. So those three guys are basically working together. The company is Tough Knives and RSK, combining forces to just make, dope ass knives. And their first release is coming up. I believe the date he gave me is the 15th of September for a drop. Tentative date, I'll say. But he was pretty sure it was the 15th. And this is the first knife. This is the Ticon 1. Ticon 1. And dude, I fucking love this thing. When he showed it to me, when he showed me the picture today, because he called me this morning, he's like, hey, dude, can you think you could come by at some point? I got something to give you. We have a knife dropping and, so I went over there and holy shit, dude, this thing is sexy as fuck. It's kind of like if you took a Vosteed RS Chaos and a Vosteed Psyop, or even take the mini Psyop and you kind of like shove those together, because that's pretty much what happened. You have those two designers and this popped out. You got the top liner lock. And funny enough, you have, again, radial pattern, just like the tall boy, except they did it a little differently. Theirs doesn't space out. Theirs stays the same, which I like very much. I think it looks great. And it's got that top liner lock, which is excellent. It's got a beautiful detent. I handled all three versions today, and they were all money. They were all money. Droppy, great pear-shaped, I guess it's, what would you call it? Elliptical shaped hole. It is a smaller knife. So for those of you who, love the big knives, I know you're going to say, hopefully they make a big one. I already told him, I was like, dude, just make a big one. You'll sell that one too. I love this clip. That clip is sexy. And I've been carrying this today. You can see the milling goes under the clip, but you don't notice it in your pocket. So at least I haven't. I haven't worn, I don't have thick pants on, but I didn't even feel it. I thought I would feel the texture or something. It just goes right in my pocket. So thought I'd mention that. But yeah, super sexy knife. It's got a forward finger choil, small one, but it works great for me. And it almost seems like a hollow ground blade up here. I'm not positive, but if you look at the blade, it does thin out. So I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's flat. These companies don't usually do hollows anyway, but sick. I love it. Ticon 1 drops on the 15th of September. Would it be weird to have more than one tall boy? No, dude. That would not be weird. That would be cool as hell. You should get more than one. There it is. I found the comment. Ron, he says, today's EDC is Divo Mash and Golden Design Nugget and a Jack Wolf Venom. Hell yeah. I have a Jack Wolf here too to show you. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I'm already getting behind. You know how that goes. So if I miss anything that you want to tell me, please repeat it if I don't get to it. Shout out to Loot. The new Breed EDC wingspan is fire. Yes, sir. He's sending me a prototype to check out, and I'm excited. I love that design. Beautiful design. Beautiful design. Stevie's been a member for 34 goddamn months. That's insane, dude. I can't even believe I've had a channel that long, let alone members, because I don't remember starting it till like way after, but busy time. Gandalf Rogan is here. I don't know. Was that a joke? Are you joking about me or him or who? I don't. Gandalf Rogan. Just showed it, so I'm guessing you're good to go. I didn't realize they were Zerk. I thought they were Timascus. Laugh out loud. My bad. They will look sick on the basic bitch tall boy. Wait, you didn't realize what was Zerk? It's not Zerk. It's Zerkutai. So it's both. It's not Zerk and it's not Timascus. It's both of those things. It's Zerkutai. Hell yeah, 10%. See, go over to EDC Roundtable. Go buy yourself some shit. Made in the USA products. Hell yeah. Grady's Gear. What up, dog? What's cracking, brother? Thank you, Bradford. I am. I'm having a good evening. Thank you very much. Tough Thumbs. Yep, that's how he started. Tough Thumbs. That was his YouTube channel. And then I think he started doing mods, and then he started making knives, you know, for real. And he's been doing that a long time. Leafy Wiggy, what up, dude? It's cracking. You want to talk about, I forget what the hell we were talking about. I forget what that was all. Oh, actually, I remember. It's going to come up again in a second. So that's funny. Grizzle Bear Leathercrafting. What up, dude? I love that name. I love it. Knife Standards. What's up? If you guys have not seen the Knife Standards RR3, you should check it out. Actually, let's go look it up. Standards.com. Oh, by the way, this I believe is $249. $249. It's M390 blade steel. Wanted to make sure I gave you that. And again, the drop is on the 15th, as far as I know. So here is the RR3. Look at this thing. Look at it. Okay, look at the clips. Look at the clips. Look at the RR stations. And then look at the RR3. All right, just look at it. Here is the classic stone milled. So you have the stone milled aluminum, titanium Weave carbon fiber, $350. Hell yeah, dude. Van X, I believe. Van X, and then you got the, is it belt satin? Yeah, so it's got the belt satin underneath, like a tumbled finish. And I'm guessing it's PVD, although he probably was told it was DLC when he bought it. This is what happened to us. So, but it is possible that it is DLC, because apparently they can do DLC now, but you got to pay more. So I have no idea. I'm not going to speculate on that. But ATR, if you didn't know, if you missed my live stream the one day where I talked about it, Best Tech was telling people they did DLC, but they didn't. So like the stouts with the DLC belt satin, not DLC, it's PVD. Yeah, they came clean, and then they were like, yeah, you can pay more for DLC though. We do it now. I'm like, okay, gonna look somewhere else. Anyway, but this knife is sexy as hell. That version's dope. And then you have the RR3, the Frosty. Look at that, dude. Dude, a full height fucking belt satin is sexy as hell. I mean, there's no, damn. Damn, dude. Damn. So do they come with the wire clip and then you can buy the mill clip? Is that how, or is that how you're keeping the price down a little bit? Because $350 is good on these with Van X for sure. I feel like a lot of people prefer the wire clip actually, but doesn't say. He could tell. He's probably answering these if he's listening, and I'm just rambling. This is stone milled. So stone milled with the stone wash. Damn, that's a mean looking blade, dude. Wait, this one has the clip on it. What the fuck is happening? $350. A milled titanium clip and stone wash finish on the blade. So I'm thinking the way he managed the pricing was, see, this one has fat carbon, so it costs more. So in order to keep the price at $350, he probably went with the wire clip. Yeah, okay, smart. Did I ever tell you guys that ATR is a smart mofo? This one, same thing, wire clip. And then you can buy the mill clip and scale. Well, the scales are for the station. Let me just make sure. Yeah, station, which is also, by the way, a fantastic knife. If you're looking for a full-size freaking knife, that's the one right there. And then here's the clips. And they're reasonable. $25 fucking dollars. Milled titanium clips, $25. Hell yeah, dude. So that helps him keep the price at $350. I think that's smart. That's a good way of doing it there, ATR. Smart man. So check that knife out. Fantastic. And then let me quickly show you the wingspan. Is that going to be, do you think he's showing it on his website? Is he showing it? Showing it? CAD services store. Oh yeah, he does CAD services, by the way, guys. If you are a knife designer or whatever and you want to get a knife put into CAD, we actually just had Mark, we just had him create a new CAD file for our Lush design so we could update it with a milled clip and some other stuff. And then we're going to shop around other OEMs to do a V2 Lush. So he did the CAD services for us, which is awesome. So if you guys are in need of any of that, he's got reasonable prices. So here's the wingspan. You can see a silhouette. You can't see the actual knife. So let me switch over to Instagram. Where's the searchy search? Searchy search. New breed. New breed. Where is it? All right, there's loot. Let's see if it shows up. Here it is. Okay. So this here is the wingspan. Right there. Sick looking knife. Look at that. That's sexy, isn't it? I'm guessing it's a sandwich construction, not an integral, but that would look sick as an integral. You should do an integral version. That would be dope. Yeah, I'm digging that a lot. Looks like he's got a belt satin. He's got a, I think it's black wash, probably. Maybe acid wash. Hard to tell. Maybe it tells us here and I'm not paying attention. S35 on it. Interesting that he went with S35. Okay. The only thing that I would say about the S35 is I don't have a problem with S35 itself. It's the price point. So with Kubi, at least in my experience, I get pricing for a lot of things. Like when we just did the mini growler order, we just put that order in. I asked for pricing for 154 CM, S35 VN, and S90V. They don't have any other good premium steels. They have M390, 20 CB, but I'm going to take S90V out of those three every single time, especially at 62. You know what I mean? So the pricing is, it's like cost-wise, it's like $10 less to do S35 versus S90V. So you might as well just bump that bitch up to S90V. Now, if you go to 154, there's a big gap. You got to, relatively margin-wise, percentage-wise, there's a big gap between S90V and 154 CM. But the gap between S35 and S90V is not that big. There's a decent gap between 154 and S35, so maybe that's what he's thinking there. But if you do a poll, I bet you most people would say, I'd rather spend $20 more and get S90V or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe he's looking at it like, because he always tries to have affordable prices. So maybe he's looking at it like, I can offer titanium and shit and S35 and charge $150. So I get it. Just like I said, we always ask for the pricing, and then as soon as we see it, we go, oh yeah, S35 is out immediately. Just it's like a no-brainer. It's not worth it. Doesn't make sense. Either go budget or go all in. That's my thinking. And I'm not always right. Everybody has their own opinion. That's just where I'm coming from. Yeah, you can't go wrong with a 6-pack. There's only 5 versions, but fuck it. Get 6. Get 6. Although I get the joke. Tell you what, if you buy 5, I'll find a way to get you a 6th one. Can I see yes. Was that an hour ago? I apologize if that was an hour ago. It was a half hour ago. Sorry, Donut. Here you go. And yes, it is as beautiful as it looks. It is fantastic. And I got to tell you, I love this lock. You're probably going to see a lot more of this from us going forward. Even to the point where maybe we switch up some designs. Like I was thinking, I don't know. I know I'm just rambling here and going all over the place. So I apologize. I will read some comments in a second. But I was thinking, what about a MASH V3 right? A V3 mesh with S90V and this kind of build. So we could do some titanium ones. We could do some carbon ones. But like, so look at this build and then think mash. I think that would be sick. I think that would be sick. Maybe some different milling patterns for titanium versions and maybe just the original style for the carbons. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, Brian with the 1 membership. Thank you, sir. I think I missed one earlier too. Kevin Smith and Knives with gifting 1 membership. So shout out to Kevin Smith and Knives. Shout out to BE EDC. Definitely check out these YouTube channels. Great dudes, great peeps. And then Ron is a new member. Or he re-upped. So shout out to Ron. Twang Thang says, I'm thirsty. I need a tall boy. Yes, sir. Yes, you do. He's been a member for 12 months. Thank you, sir. That's amazing. 1 year. The Crispy Donut Boys. Has it already been a year? Sheesh. I showed you guys my Crispy Donut outbreak. Here's my outbreak. I showed this last live stream, and I was telling people that I'm so glad that you got the belt satin. You had them redo those blades. That was the right move. This is gorgeous. Excellent. Excellent. I love this knife. This knife's excellent. And I was also telling people that Blade HQ is gay. Because I heard they were sending you C&Ds and bitching about sprinkle knives because of their donut shit. It makes no sense to me. I've never seen you guys release a knife with a stupid blue painted blade and a pink painted handle. Has anybody seen Crispy Donut Community spray paint a knife and sell it? No, I don't think anybody's trying to steal your spray paint game, Blade HQ. I don't know. Just saying. Just saying. Maybe, you know what? Actually, I really like that. I need to grab a knife. I'm going to take it into the shop. I'm going to get pink and blue spray paint, and then I'm going to have my kid draw little sprinkles on it. Then I'm going to sell that shit. If you guys want to send me a C&D, you know. Anyway, talking about not gay things, let's move on. Can I see the, oh, I showed you that one. It's camo carbon, by the way. I know that is a small distinction to most people, but camo carbon is awesome. And I kind of don't like fat carbon that much. I like dark matter fat carbon. Take it back. I like dark matter fat carbon. I don't love the regular designer series fat carbon, I think. I prefer what camo carbon does way more than what fat carbon does with the standard ones. But again, personal thing. Hell yeah. Thank you, Crispy. There's the Divo link tree. That one hasn't gotten banned for whatever reason. And I don't have the time to go create a whole new another one for Divo just because I'm pissed off at Linktree. But Linktree sucks. Gabe, what up, dude? Where will that Ticonic drop be? So I'm pretty sure it's going to be on their website, which I think will be Ticonic.com. I don't think it's active right now. I think it's behind the scenes. I did get a look at it. It looks good. It looks like a good website, Shopify store, all that kind of good stuff. I don't know if I'm allowed to show it, so I'm not going to, but that's where I believe it will be sold. What I would do is follow Tough Knives, TUFF Knives. Follow him on Instagram. Follow RSK or RS Knife Works on Instagram. And you could even follow Vosti because they might share it. I'm not sure. Let me see what RSK. So it's r.s.knifeworks. So I'll share it here. It's Rob. This guy. Yeah, see, he looks like a fun guy, right? He looks like a fun guy. Not like a mushroom, but, you know, like a fun guy. FUNGUY. Fun guy. Not fun guy. You know what I mean? So that's him. I'm not following him. Now I am. I don't know what you're talking about. I was following him the whole time. That's him. He makes dope knives. He designed the RS Chaos. This is a custom, looks like. A badass custom. I think he likes Rick Ross. Bob Ross. Rick Ross. Bob Ross. So that's RS Knifeworks. I guess I can throw these in the, let me switch my keyboard over to Mac mode. I'll throw these in the chat. So this is RSK, and this is his Instagram. So I'll put that in the chat. Give him a follow, and then go over to Tuffy Tough Knives, Jeff, or Geoff. Geoff. I think he goes by Geoff, but I'm not positive. This is Jeff. This is Tough Thumbs, Tough Knives, aka Jeff. He's got so many, aka Ticonic. He's got some amazing designs. He's definitely my style when it comes to his designs. He's got some sheep's foot. He designed the Artform Slim Foot, the Slim Foot Auto, based off the same design. He designed the Vosti Psyop. So yeah, just killing it. And those two guys teamed up. I was following him too the whole time. I swear, this Instagram's messed up, you know. Instagram trying to make me look bad over here. So here's his Instagram. Give him a follow. And then I don't know if Yu has his own. Yeah, he does. So here is Yu Dong. Oh, see, dude, trickery. Did you see that? It said following, and then it went away. Told you. I was following all these people. So Yu Dong is the guy who's part of Vosti. He's designed all the cool locks and shit. This one here is the RS Chaos. That's the one that RS Knifeworks, or Rob, designed. One of my favorites. Love that knife. This is the Psyop. This is one of the ones that Tough Knives design. So if you take this knife and then you cram it into this knife, you get this knife. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. But anyway, and then you take the brains and know-how of Chinese manufacturing from this guy. What the hell? See, I hit follow, right? This is bullshit. And you get Ticonic. I don't think are they on Instagram? Nope. They're not on Instagram yet. So, you know, I'm sure they'll probably get on Instagram before they drop the knives. But, you know, who knows? Who knows? But anyway, it's a dope knife, and good dudes, great dudes in the knife world. These guys don't get enough credit. They really don't. Like, Jeff has been doing this forever, and absolutely killing it with customs. And you know, he's one of the guys that makes the knives by hand, basically. You know what I mean? Yeah, he has some machines in his shop, but they're not like, he doesn't have a CNC machine sitting in his shop where he programs everything and it makes the knife. And there's nothing wrong with people who use CNC machines. Honestly, I prefer those knives because they're more exacting, right? So you get, in my opinion, a more, You get a cleaner overall design. You get what I'm saying. I prefer that personally versus a handmade custom. But anyway, Jeff and Rob, they're making handmade custom knives to a very high quality, excellent knives, great dudes, and their designs are unique, right? They're not just designing, like, I always kind of make fun of the custom knife world. I have some buddies like Ev, Knife Ninja EDC, and others that are into the custom world. And for the most part, I feel like every knife Ev shows me is a titanium frame lock with blasted scales, a satin blade of some kind, or stonewash blade of some kind, and it's a drop point and it has thumb studs. I feel like every one of the custom knives, like 90% of them, that's what they are. You know, and these guys don't, that's not what they do. They have unique designs, I'm sure they're polarizing too, but I just think that's cool. I don't think they get enough credit out there. So shout out to those dudes. Knife Standard says, like, yeah, dude, you can just ask Best Tech. Just go ahead and ask them. They're gonna tell you it's PVD. If you didn't specifically recently say I want DLC and they didn't charge you more, you don't have DLC. Like, it's a bit more. I don't get it. I don't know why they didn't tell us sooner, but I guess these companies started coming out with real DLC in the last couple months, basically. Like Kaiser did the Militol in DLC. And I think the only other company that does it is Kunwu. And then Remet started doing it recently. And basically what Best Tech told me was everybody does it. We just thought it was the same thing. They just thought it was interchangeable. DLC, PVD, black. You know what I mean? And I kind of get that. But you know, they specifically have DLC in all their booklets and pricing and shit. So I don't know. It bothered me a little bit. And they're already the most expensive OEM. So you add even more to get what you actually asked for. And it's like, come on. So, but yeah, you can look into it. I basically talked about it on a live stream, apologized to anybody who had one. We didn't know. You know, should we have known? Yes, I'm sure we should have known. We should have maybe tested it more or been more educated. I'm not an expert on coatings, you know, so it's on us for selling a knife that way, listing it as DLC when it wasn't. You know, that's for sure. But it does go back to them selling it to us that way, that's what we were getting. So, you know, I basically just told anybody who has one that is upset about it to hit me up, see what we could do. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm guessing that's why they had some that, like, we had a higher defective rate on those, because that's probably why. You know, because it wasn't, they were doing a belt satin PVD. I think they do the belt satin over top of it. Where with DLC, it shows the coating underneath, or it shows the finish underneath, because DLC is a very thin thing. So the fact that they pulled it off with PVD is pretty crazy, actually. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm going to shut up because I covered all that. I figured it out. And sorry, dude, I wasn't trying to blow you up in a live stream. Sorry. But I know you didn't know, or you would have done something about it already. So, yeah. ATR is a good dude. Can you show it? Yes, I did that. That must have been, all right. How far behind? 20 minutes? That's not too bad. Thursday. Okay. Yep. Yep. Loot did my CAD. Sick, dude. 1931 Leatherworks. Luke did my CAD too. He does great work and was very fast. We'll go to him for future designs that require CAD for sure. Hell yeah. Hell to the gizang. Yeah, that new breed looks sick, dude. Super excited about the wingspan. When I first saw that knife, I was like, yeah. The Clydesdale wasn't really my style. Obviously, I supported it. I love loot. Here's the one I have. This one actually was modded by Backpack B. I've been meaning to do a giveaway with this. I have something else for giveaway tonight, so I won't do it tonight, but I do want to give this away. But the Clydesdale normally has a little bit more thing going on up here. It's a little more cleavery. And I like it. It's a great knife, ergonomically and all that stuff. But the wingspan speaks to me more, for sure. So, stoked on that one. Man, what the hell? Dude, what is going on? My mouse is just being weird. I'm not clicking the right button. I'm clicking the left button, bro. All right, we good now? Nope. What the fuck? Why's everything gotta get messed up, you know? Why can't anything just work the way you want it to work? The scroll bar just does not work right now. Am I? Don't answer that. I'm not frustrated. See if I take the battery out, if that works. Nope. Okay. Guess I'm switching over to the scroller bar or whatever this thing's called. How do we find the Ticonic knife you showed? Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I wasn't given a website or anything to share with you right now. So I'll ask for it and I'll try to put it in the description here. But I'm sure you're gonna see more of it, right? They're gonna advertise it somewhere. But I would say Ticonic.com. Let me see if I can get the website URL here, because the one I have is not a listed one, but maybe it's on the website somewhere. They have an email set up on this website, so let me see if I can sign up for that. All right, signed up for that. Ooh, they have 4 versions. Fuck it, I'm just gonna show you this. I don't think it matters. So this is the website, and they have 4 versions. So it's kind of like the PSYOP, where they have a plain handle and a milled handle. These are they're not contoured on the non-milled ones like the PSYOP was, but they're still really comfortable. Very comfortable knife. Looks like they'll have PayPal as an option. Blade length is 2.9. Overall is 6.75. So it is a smaller sized knife. So it's basically like I guess it would be like a pony stout size for anybody who has a pony. Let me see what else do I have. Here's a mini Sweeney, probably a little bigger than that. Yeah, pretty damn close to the mini Sweeney here. So I'm sure there's going to be a large Sweeney. I mean, a large Ticonic 1, maybe a Ticonic 2. I don't know. But anyway, they have that version. Then they have the version I have with the blue accents and the milling. Then they have a blacked out version with no milling and it looks like bronze accents or brass accents. And then they have a black one with milling with blue accents. And they're all $250, it looks like. Here's Geoff Tough Knives. I don't know how updated these are right now, so I don't want to. But here's Rob, and he's got one of the prototypes there and his story. So there you go. Those are the two guys behind the brand. And that is the website. But again, it doesn't show me the URL. It's some Shopify URL. So my guess is it's ticonic.com. So more to come on that. I'll just say that because I can't give you anything else right now. AT Knives, Lewis says, I liked S30V. I don't know. I don't think I used it enough back when it was around to say one way or the other, but I asked Kubi if we could get it because they used to use it and they can't. They cannot get it anymore. So that's why we never use it. Javon needs an RR3. Hell yeah, he does. I want the Blade Binge one. The tall boy, yeah. This thing's sick, dude. Waiting for the right Divo to buy. Was going to wait for the Fireball, but that tall boy is fire. Just get both, man. Just get both. Yes, please, on anything mash. Okay. Yeah, I've gotten a couple questions, but I haven't gotten a ton of people asking for mashes lately, so I didn't know if we should do another run. You know, we've done a lot of mashes. Can I order the titanium one with a belt satin blade? You cannot. I mean, I don't have that. It doesn't exist. You would have to, you could buy two and then do a blade swap. That would work. And then sell the other one. You just got to find somebody who wants a, you know, stonewash with something else. But yeah, unfortunately, we don't have every combination of stuff. We can't do everything. We just try to pick what we think would be the best, what we like the best, that kind of stuff. Buy 5, get 1 free. That's still 20% off. Not a big deal. There you go. Yeah. Now get some friends in on it. That's bullshit. No, you gotta show me a receipt where you buy all of them, and then it has to be a month later. Has to be a month later, and you still have to have all 5, and then I'll give you a 6th one. No trickery around here. Fucking 5 of you guys get together and buy them. That'd be great. Yeah, I made it, and for some reason I didn't get the alert. Well, I created the live like 2 or 3 hours ago, so that might be why. I didn't really plan it ahead too well. Every Divo is the right Divo to buy. Hell yeah, dude. I'm pumped for the mini growler. Yes, sir. I was thinking, would you guys be interested in a Growler XL? Maybe we could call it the keg. I don't know. I just was thinking an XL growler would be pretty badass. It'd be pretty sick if we had like a 4-inch growler. I don't know. I'd be interested to see how well that thing would cut. Imagine how tall, like that blade would be tall as shit. I'm not a big knife guy, but some things you just got to try, you know? And I've been asked more than once to do a large excuse me, a large stout. I've had people ask for like a pony stout, the budget one, but in like XL form. I think a growler would be cool too, large like that. And I do think we're gonna do a small boy. So we'll take this and shrink it down to a small boy at some point. So we have a lot of projects we need to do. Probably need to slow down adding shit to the list. No, I don't drink. I don't drink, man. So definitely not drunk. But am I goofy? That's possible. Where can I order the extra hardware? So the extra hardware will be available on our website, divoknives.com. I am contemplating doing a separate drop for hardware, but I'm not sure yet because I feel like we always have a weird rush for the hardware, and then people, they want to get a knife and they want hardware, so then they order the knife real quick and then they go back and place a separate order for the hardware because they didn't want to miss something. And maybe that's too hectic for people. I don't want to make it like where people are stressed out trying to get stuff because we don't have a lot of the hardware kits. So maybe if we did the drop like 2 days later for the hardware. Now, the problem is then you got to pay shipping again. So that's the downside. So I don't know. What do you guys think? If you guys think it's fine, then to just do it all at once, that's fine too. I just want to do whatever makes the most sense for people. Rick says, don't apologize for rambling. More of Lefty is always good. I don't know about that, man, but all right. Hell yeah. When the new knife dropping, guys? So if you're talking about this one, it's the 12th. This is our new knife. It drops the 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you're talking about this new knife, this is not ours. This is the Ticonic Ticon one. And this is dropping on the 15th. And I think it's going to be on Ticonic.com. Yes, sir. We paid extra and lost funds on it, but it was worth. Wait, you paid extra and lost funds on it? So you fucked up. They didn't. Because usually if they messed up, they would fix it. And even if it's like you both kind of screwed up, usually they'll give you like, they'll split it with you or something. So that sucks. But you did the right thing. That's because that's a big difference, in my opinion. A stonewash versus a belt satin. I mean, the belt satin is one of the reasons I ordered the knife, if I'm being honest, personally. So I wouldn't have called you out because I love you guys, but on the inside, I would have been a little pissed. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you did it. I'm sorry you lost some money though. That sucks. It's always tough, right? You gotta, but I'm telling you, it's always better to just swallow it, do the right thing if you can. It's just better that way. You'll feel better about it, etc. I love jumping down the blade, not only at the handle. Thank you. Okay, hell yeah. Oh, we got a bunch of gay. Blade HQ's gay. What does everyone think about Metal Complex's Excalibur? I haven't handled it yet. I talked to Kun Wu. He said he would send me a Lefty, so hopefully I can check one out when they're ready. I think is it a pre-order? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not really into the stuff Metal Complex is, but that one's pretty basic. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward design, so I think it looks good. I don't know how big it is, but Kun Wu makes good stuff, especially under their own brand, which I'm pretty sure that is. So, yeah, sure they sold a shit ton of them. I think it was $3.99 for an integral. It's pretty good. I think they did a good job on that. I feel like CDC has been doing the donut theme longer than Blade HQ. Yeah, maybe not knives, but they've been around doing the patches and shit probably for I don't fucking know. I don't know. It's just stupid. Sprinkle Hanks, they're gonna C&D you for Sprinkle Hanks. Yeah, probably, dude. Probably. Good evening, Kevin. Listening in, loving the tall boy a lot. One of my subscribers said it has some brown knives Cortex vibes at an affordable price. I completely agree. It's my favorite Divo. Okay. I mean, I've had a Cortex and I don't think it looks like one, but I think the reason people say that is the Cortex XL is the one you're talking about. The XL has a sort of exposed tab like this. It's honestly very similar. And it has a sort of sheep's like Warncliffe sort of pointy thing going on. So I get that. It's similar in that sense. I don't think the designs look alike really at all, but because of those things, I think they do kind of. That's why it comes to mind. I never thought about it until somebody mentioned it. I was like, yeah, I can see it. Blade HQ taxes shit out of you. Def paying up when ordering from them. Yeah, I really wonder if Blade HQ pays the taxes to every state. You know how much work that takes? They must have a whole accounting team that pays taxes to every state because they collect tax in every state, right? They don't technically have to send it. They could just not and keep it, but I don't know. It's a lot of work. Make it a Ferrari version and you'll get a cease and desist. Ha ha ha. What is Ferrari weird about that stuff? Excalibur is too big and heavy for me right now, so I'm in the pass group. Okay. Yeah, I haven't tried it. I'm not in the club for that one. I think they're just prototypes, right? Or are they out now? I don't fucking know. JD, so no sprinkle scales on the knife, but can they sell separate scales with sprinkles on them for those that want them? Too risky? Yeah, I don't think they can do anything with sprinkles on a knife. Because, that would take business away. So dumb. What were you talking about there that I wanted to look up? What were we just talking about? Oh, the Excalibur. Let me look that up. So, Kunwu Schnives. By the way, if you guys pick up a Excalibur, you should use my link. Are they available? Yeah, here it is. Pre-order club. So it's a pre-order. Welcome to this thing. List all the models available for your spending pleasure. Yeah, I don't know. I really wish that companies would stop doing pre-orders if they don't have to. Like, they make knives. They should be able to make these and then sell them, but I don't know. That's just a pet peeve. So this is a full DLC Lefty for $429. That's pretty cool. And that looks like legit Timascus or Zircuti. It's not the weird stuff that they use sometimes. And it's Van X at 6061. It's real DLC and Timascus. I mean, and it's an integral. I mean, that price is pretty crazy. It's got his little thingy here. Yeah, I mean, actually, it's a good looking knife. I'm surprised he went with a I guess it's not sheep's footy, but it kind of looks like it. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty dope to me. Is it a hollow ground blade? Because that would be cool. They don't say, so it's probably a flat grind. It would be dope as a hollow grind. Here's a satin. Is it a belt satin or is it it's a machine satin? You know, for 400 bucks, I would love to see a real belt satin. Well, hard to tell. Might be. No, it's machine satin, yeah. That would bother me. For 400 bucks. I would want a belt satin or just stonewash it at that point. Like do this, whatever that is. You guys notice that this one, oh no, there it is. There's the big ass pivot. I was gonna say it looked smaller on it. And then they have this Primo knife. That looks cool too. Cleavery guy. So cool stuff. Use my link. Use my link to buy Metal Complex's knife. Skipping ahead. Okay, 10:30. It's 11:04. All right, I'm skipping ahead. Sorry, guys. Repeat if you need to. Sorry. I really wish my mouse worked right now. I don't know why it's being stupid. I was on the fence for the PSYOP. Decided I didn't want that size. Oh, now you work? Okay. Weird. Yeah, the mini PSYOP was cool, but I don't know. The size was a little bit odd for me. And then didn't they get rid of a choil? I think the full size had a choil, the mini didn't. I like the full size in the contoured version. Don't hate me, but Benchmade's DLC narrows are pretty good too. The word narrows and pretty good in the same sentence just doesn't cope for me. And the XM18 is such an overrated knife. It's not even funny. You obviously don't spend much time in custom knife world. Look up Jason Stout, Jeremy Marsh, Brad Blount, Mike Birch, Brad Souther, just to name a few. They do much more than just stonewash and studs. I didn't say everybody. I just said most of the shit I see is that drop point, studs, tie frame lock. And I said satin, not stonewash. So, you know. So machinists and people who do metalwork didn't know the difference between PVD and DLC. Yeah. As far as I know, you mean in China? Yeah. I think they knew. I don't know. The way they worded it basically was that they didn't know. They thought it was all the same. And then they kind of found out recently because people started asking for it or Kaiser started doing it and they know. I don't fucking know. No. So Riot, I thought they were doing real DLC. They don't. So I have, where is it? Here. I have a Renegade Provisions Co. GOM, and this was all blacked out. Satu Dave did a hollow grind on it for me. Beautiful, by the way. But this coating, he listed it, Renegade listed it as DLC because that's what he ordered. He ordered DLC. He asked for DLC from Riot. It's PVD. And he found out the same thing. Because I asked him about it. He's like, it's PVD. I thought it was DLC. That's what they told me. And then like his invoice says DLC, just like ours. It says DLC everywhere. But it's really PVD because, again, I don't know. I don't know if they would. I don't know if they would say that it's DLC so blatantly if they knew. I don't know. But then again, you have companies like Kubi who just call it black. Like they don't try to say DLC or anything; they just call it black titanium. So yeah, it's a little bit suspect. Derek with the 2 bones. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it, man. DLC just black or any color. It's kind of charcoal on mine. DLC is pretty black. But I guess it would depend on what's underneath it. Maybe some other factors. I don't know. But I will say that DLC looks more black and a little bit more shiny than PVD. PVD tends to look kind of like paint a little bit. That's why when we do a coated blade, we always do a black wash. We always add a stone wash to it because to me, it just looks so much better with a black wash than it does with straight PVD. Like this, I believe, would be straight PVD. And it just, to me, it kind of just looks like paint. Where when you black wash it, it gives it a more of a grayish look, I guess. Takes away a little bit of the black. But in person, it looks better, I think. I guess it would be preference. I don't know if I have anything else that's black like that. That's what she said. Here's a Kubi black wash as well. This is on my microburst. I don't have a ton of black knives. I'm not a black knife guy. This is, I don't know what this is. Maybe a black wash. This is the Eutectic. Oh, it's a Lefty. This is the EFD from Eutectic. I don't know if I think I showed this last week. Did I? I don't remember. I did ask them about it because I feel like the detent on this one is a little bit soft. Like when I put my finger in, the blade just kind of like comes out. I don't know if it's just the hole being big or me, but it feels like it could be a stronger detent. But it is cool. Yeah, I don't have anything else. There are PVD that are similarly hard as hell, but not quite the same, generally ever so slightly thicker. Yeah, I think PVD is thicker, not as tough as DLC. And that kind of, you know, the properties of DLC that make it really cool is what makes it great for knives, I think, versus other applications. Skipping ahead again. Sorry, guys. What's DLC? Seriously, it's diamond-like coating, I believe. And mostly it's the difference is the actual coating and then how it's applied is a big thing. So PVD stands for particle vapor something. And that's a process. PVD is a process. The actual material is different. The actual material is like TIN, titanium nitride, and then something. Because titanium nitride, TIN technically is like a gold color, I think. But you can have like TIN-A, TIN-C, whatever. So one of those is black. Maybe it's C for carbon is black. That's the actual coating material, and then it's applied by a PVD process, which is different than DLC, which is, I think DLC can be applied via PVD process. It's very confusing. As you can tell, not an expert over here. But DLC is a coating. It's a material where PVD is a process, if that makes sense. So as far as I understand, you can actually have DLC applied via PVD, right? But DLC is hard as hell. Basically is the thing with DLC. It's a thin layer of this coating and it's hard as hell. Like if you put DLC on a blade, your blade is at like 80 something HRC. Like it's crazy tough. But something I learned recently, if you put DLC on a blade and a handle, I actually tested this on a Romette. So it had a DLC blade and handle in titanium. I took a bit driver and scratched the blade. It did no damage. I could just wipe it off. If I did that to this, it would mark it up. Like it would probably hold up okay, but I'm pretty sure it would leave marks. If I put enough pressure down, it would basically start scraping off the coating. Where DLC is just extremely tough and resistant to that stuff. But when I did the same thing to the handle, even though the coating is super hard, because it's a thin layer and it's on a softer material like titanium, it actually left a mark. It was scratching basically through the DLC layer. So somebody left me a good comment that explained it. I can't remember exactly, but let's say you took a sheet of glass and you put DLC over it, right? And then you took a bit driver to it. You wouldn't be able to scratch the glass because the glass is hard, tough, durable, and then you put that really strong coating on top of it, right? Now, if you took sand and you put DLC on top of sand, you would take your bit driver and you would be marking, the sand would be moving around underneath because it's soft and that layer of DLC isn't like thick enough to be its own stiff surface, if that makes sense. It was hard. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around it, but that helped for me. Maybe that would help for you. I don't know. But did I use the arrow key? What would the arrow key do? Oh. Anyway, I got to figure it out now. Knives Fast has been a member for 13 months. Shout out to you, dude. Stopping by for a couple minutes. So he's probably gone already. Shout out to Casey. Some people say it's diamond-like carbon. Some people say it's diamond-like coating. I don't know. I think it is carbon. Drink Water has been a member for 17 months. Shout out to Drink Water. Only Colin would want the sand wash blade. Stone wash or sand wash, I guess. I really want a growler. Yeah, growler's sick, dude. We're working on the mini. XL? Yeah. All right, cool. I think an XL would be cool. Ah, look, Casey likes it. 4-inch growler? Do it. All right. Yeah, the compadre's sick, dude. That's a good one. Make a knife called the 40 ounce. Yeah, but it would have to be 40 ounces, you know, and then that would be weird. I don't know. Yeah, you should really ignore the prototypes we get because we changed all the versions a lot. I can't remember what we prototyped on the mini growler. I think we are doing all of those, but not the same like blade finishes. We're doing a bunch of mini growlers, and I took a vote I did a poll on my Instagram or on the Divo Instagram to see if you guys preferred S90V or 154 CM. If you wanted a like lower price point or a more premium knife. And we got more votes for S90V, but we also had a good number of votes for 154 cm. So I asked Kubi if they could do both. And in the past, they've said no. But this time they said yes. So we're doing some premium ones with camo carbon and titanium with S90V. And then we're doing some more affordable ones with weave carbon fiber, aluminum, and G10 in 154 cm. So we're doing the weave ones to match the Growler V2s, the blue collars with the belt satin, I think, and then the all blacked out weave. And then we're doing the aluminum one is going to match the gray nip light. So the gray aluminum with the purple accents and the black blade and hardware, I think. And then we did one to match the Stonewash and G10 nip light, the black G10 with Stonewash blade. I thought those would be cool. And those will be more affordable, right? Those would be like 99 bucks. The weave might be like 120. And then with 154. And then the S90V ones will be 175 or something. I don't know, 199, something like that. They won't be too expensive, but so we'll have two different kind of tiers with the mini growler. That's the plan on that one. We'll see how it goes. I have a fear that people are going to just buy up the S90V and then we're just going to sit on 154 cm and go, why did we do this? But there's also a lot of people who don't want to spend that much. You know, they want to try to keep it around $100. So we try to offer that when we can. My wife asked me what my favorite Divo was, and in true drunkard form, I told her the next one. Nice. I like it. Yeah, you want to buzz revisit. So I was thinking we did prototype a mini buzz, but then we decided not to do it. We prototyped it with Best Tech. And we tried to make it affordable, and we just kind of got stuck in between. It was like Nitro V and weave carbon fiber, but it was going to be like 150. Just made no sense because they're just so expensive. And then their budget shop isn't as good. So it's like, why wouldn't we use Kubi and make it less money and better quality, you know? So we want to redo the mini buzz prototypes. I think we might want to change the flipper tab slightly too. I'm not sure. And then I was thinking we could do a Buzz V2, same thing, kind of update the flipper tab a little bit. I really like the flipper tab on the Kunwu Compadre. I told Sergio from Kunwu, I was like, dude, I'm probably going to use this flipper tab and just give you credit. And he was like, yeah, dude, whatever. So I love that flipper tab. It just works so well for all the deployments. And you could have a strong enough detent to flick it. It was just perfect. So I'm thinking about maybe we put that on a buzz and maybe put the exposed liner lock on the buzz and do that and do a V2. I think that would be sick. So we do want to revisit it, but we have our list of projects is like getting ridiculously long. Yeah, so Neves mentioned budget Jack Wolf knives for $199. So that's the one they sent me. So I wanted to go over that tonight. I have it right here, so I wanted to talk about it. But I'm trying to catch up here. Button lock growler, have not thought about that. Honestly, we're not going to do a button lock anything. If it is a button lock, it's going to have a compression style button lock. I'm fine with that. Like we're working on a nip L, larger nipple that has the top liner lock, very much like this. So this lock on the nip, but larger. Like 3.1 inch blade, 3.2 inch blade. It's going to be sick, I think. If this is any indication, I'm really excited for it. So, but we haven't looked into the growler for that. We're doing the mini, and then I was thinking about the XL, and then of course we're still kind of working on the USA one. Haven't heard anything in a while from Chapman Lake, but just kind of letting them have some room, do their thing. So we'll see. No, we just talked about that. I have not. If he wants to send me one, that'd be cool, or let me check one out. I'd love a Buzz rerun. Yep, we talked about that. Big compliment on the tall boy. One of my subscribers said they really like the tall boy because, okay, we talked about that. I think you guys, because I told you to repeat it and then I ended up getting to totally get it, or I'm an idiot and I've gone backwards. Okay, skipping ahead. Sorry. Saw something about Mallory. Love Mallory. Dylan's a man. Just couldn't read it. So if you want to smack me again. Did you do a Divo Mule yet, or the Divo Hangover? The Hangover is one we want to save for a Hawkbill, because we just think that would make sense, like a Hawkbill Hangover. But we haven't designed a Hawkbill, so it's tricky, but we'll see. We need to make a knife called the Wee. That actually reminds me, I have a package here. This has 7 Civivis in it, I think. Civivi hit me up and said they wanted to send me some stuff. And I said, I haven't tried any of your knives in forever. So if you wanted to send me some shit, I'll check it out, pass it around. So I have, I think, 7 Civivis in here. No idea what they are, if they're new, old, whatever. I wanted to open those tonight, but I apparently am not going to do anything. Sorry, I'm very slow, apparently. I've been trying to pick up a Divo for a while. This tall boy is one that pushes the limit and makes it go. Sick. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Colin is an amazing designer. And our combination of strengths, I think, work out really well. So, yeah. I love most of Colin's designs. And it just works really well. Whether I have the idea or he just says, hey, look at this. And then we tweak everything from there. And we just collaborate together really well, work together really well. So thank you. Yeah. 600 for the narrows. Yeah. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about it. Paul, Buzz V2 be a titanium. That's the thing. Probably not. I'll be honest with you. I don't see the point in a titanium liner lock at this point. The only reason to do a titanium liner lock is to say you have a titanium liner lock. It's like just for people to say they have one, like it's cool or it's better because it's titanium and not steel. But if you really think about it, having a little steel inset lock bar, which is literally this much material, is way better. It's less weight. You don't have to stick an insert in there. It can be thinner because you don't have to stick an insert in here. That's the problem with a titanium liner lock. That's what we found out on the Buzz. It had to be 1/2 inch thick because that's what they needed to fit a lock bar insert into the liner. Here's an example. Good knife, the Axon from Vero. It has to have this thick lock bar because they need to fit a steel insert in there, and they can't mount an insert onto a thin piece of titanium. So you end up with, well, this is a bad example because we designed it to be wider at that point, but it's not actually, never mind. Here's the Clydesdale. I'm just trying to give you an example. This is a steel lock bar, and this is the titanium. Can you see that? This thing in the middle here is the lock bar, that thin piece of steel. That is a chunk of titanium in order to fit that insert in. It doesn't make sense. And then you don't have to, but most of the time you're going to end up with a full liner instead of doing like a inset tab because they need that extra structure or whatever. So I just don't really see the point in it. I kind of wish we had known that ahead of time and just done the buzz as a steel liner lock, just with one single little tab. It would have weighed less. It would have been thinner, you know. So what's the knife in the live stream thumbnail? I went over that. That's the Ticon 1 right here from Ticonic, dropping on the 15th. I don't have a location yet. I think it's ticonic.com, TICONIC.com. It's the new company. It's their first knife by RS Knifeworks, RSK, and Tough Knives. So Jeff and Rob teamed up. They're using Bastid's shop. And yeah, it's excellent. $250. I mean, it's a great price. Basically, you get the same price you do with Bastid, which is nice. Hell yeah, Mike. Thank you. Or Mick. If I don't get that 80s tall boy, I might go into a deep depression. Well, as I was saying earlier, Austin has, or he had whatever, 100 of them. So he should, he'll have a good number to drop. And then the other dealers have 100 of theirs. And then we have 150-ish, a little less of the purple and 50 of the black pearl. Yeah, right. I guess they haven't seen any of my button lock Elementum videos before. Oh yeah, the narrow, the parallel is way better. I love that knife. It kills the narrows. Awesome, dude. Thank you. Appreciate that. Bought my first Divo recently, the Lush in purple fat carbon. Skiffed it like all my knives, and it hasn't left the pocket. Is there a titanium milled pocket clip that is the same length as the factory? I don't know if it's the same length, but I know the Kunwu clip fits it. And a lot of people like that one. I'm not positive if Knife Standards clip would fit it. I think his might be a little bit thinner. Lynch clips should fit it. Rip's Garage Tech probably fits it. The Kunwu clip fits it. How much thicker will the nip slip be compared to the barley? It's definitely thicker, but you got to understand the barley is stupid thin. Like that's the point of that knife. Not the whole point, but you get my point. Here's the nip slip, and here's the tall barley. Whoop. So I'm guessing this is 0.32. I'm guessing the nip slip is like 0.45 maybe. It's still thin, but it's not as thin as the barley, and it's very contoured. Yeah, 0.41. 0.41 there. Let me go back a little bit. 0.41. Yeah, 0.41. But the barley is flat, where this is extremely contoured. It's so good in the hand. This is my favorite slip joint by far. Like, this slip joint crushes everything. It really does. I love the size, the feel in hand with the contouring, the grip, the walk and talk, the full height hollow ground blade. QSP absolutely destroyed these. The finger choil. Yeah, these are sick, dude. And then the barley is excellent as well. But this one, like I said, is flat scaled. It's 0.32, so extra thin. So if you're looking for something that just disappears, This is good. This is also good because it's so small. It's a great pocket dropper, although I recommend a slip. This in a slip still disappears. I think Urban has a couple of these left. I know they were sold out of the blue, and they had one left in the black last time I looked. So they might just have the gray. Oh wait, now they're showing one blue, two black, and just whatever for the plain. I guess that means they have more than 5. That's weird. Yesterday it was sold out and one here. So I don't know if they had returns or cancellations or something. But here it is. So they have plain tie, blue Sagaha, 1 in stock, and then black, 2 in stock. So they must have had a cancellation, or they just update it every couple hours to make it look. I'm just kidding. But the black and the blue are $319, and the plain is $299. And these are gonna drop. We'll start advertising this after the tall boy release. But these are gonna be $199. So if you like a small slip joint, probably, you could wait for this one. But it is small, where this one is more medium. This is Lush size, because this is what the Lush was based off of. And this is the nip nip slip, which is based off the nip, which is a smaller knife. 2 1/4 inch blade and 2 inch cutting edge, I'm pretty sure. Choked up. You can see there's a little bit sticking out. If I choke up on this, I basically get a perfect grip. Large glove size hand, I get a perfect grip on this. A little bit taller blade, so probably a little bit slicier with that full hollow. But this one's very thin, 0.09 of an inch. Flat ground, but super, super slicey. And you get a longer cutting edge. Probably 2.5, 2.7 maybe cutting edge, something like that. Both are great. But yeah, I'll be showing these a lot later this month. So let's talk about the Jack Wolf. So they actually sent me one of their new USA made slips. So they're going to be selling these, as I understand it, when they drop the Benny's clip. And they're really nice. This is very thin slip. And that's what I love personally. My personal favorite slip brand company maker is Northwoods Leatherworks. And he makes what I think are really thin slips. And this is even thinner, I think. So it carries really well. I got the Benny's clip, just drops in there. Fits great. Slip will probably fit any slip joint in a normal size range. You have these little flaps. So definitely recommend this slip. It's nice. I make those. Oh, you made those, dude? Wait, I've made those. What the hell is he saying? Are you saying you make that style of slip, or are you saying you are the maker of these? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Tailored by Cortez is awesome as well. Somebody's asking. The barley really does reminding me of the Divo. Yeah, it's because that's where the design came from. So I drew up the barley originally, and then Colin turned it into a real design and added a finger choil, which was genius. And then we started that project. We ended up deciding to license it to Urban EDC along the way because we weren't sure if a slip joint would sell. It was like, it's pretty far back. I mean, that pre-order took like 15 months. And you had the whole process in between. So it's been a good 2.5 years since we started that. We weren't sure if a slip joint would sell, so we were like, maybe we'll license it. And then we decided, while it was taking Urban a while to like actually talk about it and start the pre-order, we decided let's make a locking version. So we started working on that. Colin turned it into a bolster lock, and that's where the Lush came from. And then we started working with traditional pocket knives, and we made the Lush an exclusive with them. But it was based off of the Barley. Now, we might actually make a slip joint Lush, and that's because it is slightly different in design, and we would make it where it's like the nip slip. It would be like that thick, contoured. So it would be different, but it would still be similar to the Barley. Anyway, this is the Benny's clip. This is the new release from Jack Wolf Knives. And they sent me the Steel Series version to show you guys and talk about. So this is a new venture, or a new adventure for Jack Wolf Knives. You guys know, from if you've watched any of my Jack Wolf videos or even the live streams with Ben, that people have asked for a long time for something less expensive. A lot of people get hung up on the $299 price point for the Jack Wolf knives. And so Ben went out and tried to figure out a way to offer something more affordable. So that's where the Steel Series came in. So basically what you have is the same knife as the Benny's clip that they're going to have in titanium or whatever. And it's in stainless steel. So the bolsters are steel. The frame essentially is steel. The hardware is stainless steel. And then you have a 14C 28N blade steel instead of S90V. You have 14C. Is that the right side? Yeah. This one has I believe it's a blue linen micarta handle scale. And then there's a more simple packaging. You just get this that says Jack Wolf Steel Series. So if they do more of these, they'll all be the same. There's not going to be different artwork for each model, like with the premium ones. And you just get a piece of wax paper in here. There's no sticker. There's no pog. There's no cloth. And there's no slip. All right. So that's what the Steel Series are. And these are $199. So they changed from titanium body and screws to steel, from S90V to 14C, from carbon fibers or full titanium to, in this case, a linen micarta, and reduced the packaging contents down to chop $100 off of the knife. So for the people who've been asking for something more affordable, this is what they're offering, the Steel Series. So you guys let me know what you think about that. I can tell you, I have the Benny's clip from the first run. This one's in titanium with toxic green camo carbon and M390, I think, on this one. Yeah, M390 on this one. So the knife feels the same. Honestly, I think the action is a little bit better on this one, the new one. That could just be because it's a new one and they're doing a new run. So the shop has gotten better and better. This came out probably 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. So I'm not surprised that the action's a little better. The pull is a little stronger, right? So the feel in hand and everything is pretty identical. Oh shit! Oh, that was the blade. It locked open and like smacked me in the palm. That was weird. So the feel in the hand is pretty much identical. This is heavier. So your steel series is going to be heavier because you have steel, right? And then you're going to have, different blade steel, but the grind is the same. You still have a belt satin, which is, I think that's a cool touch that they didn't, change it to just a stone wash or something. I'm sure depending on the version, it might change. I don't know. One thing I noticed is the blade grind, the blade thickness is different. It's like the old one is thinner. So I don't know if you're going to see it, but the spine, if you look at it, the one over here is the first run, and this one is the new run. And you can see it's substantially thicker. The blade stock looks the same. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if the grind changed, if they went to a flat grind, where this one you can feel the hollow grind. You can feel a hollow here. It feels, like thinner up here. This one feels more flat. Now I haven't tested it. Let me grab something to lay on it. Let me just see. So it's hard to tell. I think it might be flat ground. This one you can see light underneath. That's a hollow. Does anybody here have a channel that has one that is a premium version? I'd be curious if it is a hollow on the premium and a flat on the steel series, or if they changed it for this run, maybe. You know what I mean? No, I haven't thrown any more stickers. All right, let me read your comments. So I went over the knife. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you is one of the cool things about, or this is probably the one thing that I think looks better on the steel series versus the premium, is the back spring, because this is titanium. You have titanium, then spring, then titanium. On this one, you have just steel across the board. So you can see how tight the fitting is. I mean, look at that. And I'd venture to guess that line you can see is probably just oil. Let me see if I can, because earlier I don't even think I could see the line. Maybe it depends on like the lighting you're seeing. Yeah, it's oil or something. So, I mean, it's pretty impressive. Like down here, you can't even tell that it's not just one chunk of steel. Here you can see it a little bit, but that's crazy. I think that does show the craftsmanship is pretty sick. And when you open it, I think it gets better. Look at that. Jesus. Like that looks like a solid billet of stainless steel right there, doesn't it? Look at that shit. That's wild. Now, someone said, yeah, I noticed that too. So I've seen a lot of it should be $150, it should be $120, it should be $100. So I figured that this is the reaction it would get. And I told Ben that I said, you're going to have the same reaction that you have to the premium ones with this one. So people are going to, they say $299 is too much for a Chinese made slip joint. Well, now people are going to say $199 is too much for a stainless steel Chinese slip joint, right? So if you're looking at pure value, I kind of feel like with Jack Wolf, the more you spend, the better value you're getting. Like that $100 gets you premium packaging with custom artwork from like legitimate artists. It gets you the cloth, the pog, the slip. It gets you stickers. It gets you premium handle material, whether it's titanium and carbon fiber or titanium and wood or titanium and just more titanium. It gets you a bump from 14C to S90V, right? So if anything, I feel like this sells this more. Does that make sense? It's like this. You look at this and you say, okay, $199 for that, but I can get this for $299. I'm going to get this. You know, it's kind of an interesting thought process there. But what it also tells me is the process to make these knives is expensive, because even with stainless steel and linen micarta and 14C, they still have to charge $199. So there's a lot of money going into just the sheer process of making these knives. I've talked about this ad nauseum, but these knives are not made in batches of parts. Like they don't have a bin with parts in them and they just grab a scale and a blade and a whatever and shove it in there, pivot, shove it in there, and then they just put the knife together. That's how they can make most knives, right? They make all the parts separately, and then they have them all set up, and then the assembly team comes in. The assembly team grabs a liner and a pivot and a whatever. They have it all right there, and they put one knife together, move on. Put one knife together, move on. But with the Jack Wolf knives, that's not how it works from beginning to end. Other than, you know, like the screws, they are specifically numbering each part to match that specific knife, right? That's how you end up with the flush back spring, the flush scales. That's how all of that happens. Centering, etc. So what this tells me is all of that is expensive. And you're paying more for the craftsmanship than you really, or you're paying essentially as much for the craftsmanship as you are for the premium materials. So if you ask me, which one do you recommend? I would tell you, go get a premium one. Go spend $299 because you're getting more for your money, I think, right? But I don't think that necessarily means this is not, like, I don't think any Jack Wolf is a good value price-wise, right? Like, I don't think anybody's going to argue that for $299 or $199, you're getting bang for your buck, right? It's different than that. It's more like, it's sort of a middle ground between, it's not like a mid-tech because it's made in China. It's still mass produced, but it's not quite production. You know what I mean? It's a weird middle ground, and it's hard to understand for people, I think. And some people just don't and won't, and it's fine. But anyway, that's kind of my breakdown of it. But yeah, these are $199. And I think for people who want to get into Jack Wolf, but just don't have 300 bucks or don't want to spend 300 bucks and want to have a taste, you can have a taste for $199, you know? So I think if anything, this is going to push more people to buy premium ones. So could be a good thing in the end. There's no reason it should be over 150. Well, yeah, there is, because they're paying however much they're paying for the knife, and they have to charge however much they have to charge. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it when you're getting charged X amount. Then you have to add enough money to make it worth it, right? And then you have to sell the knife. And with Jack Wolf's current setup, where they sell through dealers mostly, I think they are actually selling some directly now for this drop. But for every other drop before this, it's been exclusively through dealers. So dealers take 30%. So you take $299 and take 30% of that. What is that? $100? Just about $100, right? 95 bucks, something like that. So $95 gone. Now you have 200 bucks, right? And how much did Jack Wolf pay for the knife, the materials, the packaging, right? Shipping it to the dealer, all that shit, right? My guess is that probably adds up to 150 bucks. So Jack Wolf probably gets 50 bucks out of every one of these. If you do the math on that, I don't have I do have a calculator, I'll tell you. As soon as it loads, I'll tell you. So cost. Oops. So cost in that case would be $250 and the price is $300 if I do it that way. That's 16% margin. So let's say they get 75, whatever. They're at like a 20% margin on these things. So that's what I try to explain to people. Jack Wolf knives, they're not rolling around in Lambos and throwing cash out the window at biddies. You know what I'm saying? And chicks in bikinis. Like they're not rolling in money from this. They're making enough money to keep Jack Wolf going, pay the employees they have. They have 2 employees, so 3 total people as far as I understand. And they have to constantly be placing orders and pushing things forward, getting prototypes, paying for office space. And they're doing that on a 20% margin. So the knives are just expensive to make. So they could go somewhere else and have them made cheaper. But they really stand by the quality of these knives. So that's what the entire thing hinges on. The entire case that I can make, that Ben could make, that anybody could make for why you should spend $299 on this knife or $199 on this knife is the quality and the execution of the knife. And if you can't perceive it or feel it or see it because it's just not something that you care about enough or whatever, then you're not going to get it. You're always going to think these are overpriced or whatever, right? And that's just, I think, the facts, right? I don't know how much this helps to solve that necessarily, because you guys are basically saying the same things that people say about this. So again, I think if anything, this is going to push people to this. It's going to make this look better. I don't know. But anyway, it feels really good. The quality's there. The craftsmanship there. It's all there. It's just the materials are lesser. And whether you can accept that for $100 less is the question. Sounds like a lot of you don't, right? Now, I will say, and sorry, I'll read some of these in a second. I've been ranting for a second. The OEM is not Riot. So the only one I have here, I think, or let me see if I have something more comparable. I should have something clip pointy. No, I don't. But this might be better. Because this one's kind of a goofy one. Well, it's blue, but that's about it. So a lot of people would argue this is a Rosecraft knife, right? So a lot of people would say this is $60 or $65 or whatever. This is $199. Why? Right? I'm sure that has come up in the chat. So this is a Rosecraft blades. It's nice. It's nice. Now, it has really good craftsmanship as well. I'm pretty sure they use Rough Rider, which is probably the cheapest OEM in the existence of the knife world. I mean, it's insane. Other than, I guess, like M-Tex and shit you can get for $10. But I mean, you can get Rosecrafts for not Rosecraft. You can get Rough Riders for like $10, can't you? It's crazy. But these are made extremely well for $60. It's crazy. So you have Pretty Fly says QSP does not make Jackwolf. Where do you guys just come up with this shit? I see somebody in every live stream. They're like, this person makes them. This person makes them. You don't know. Nobody knows. And I know for a fact it's not QSP. So that's why I can tell you something. I know it's not Riot. Riot makes the slips. They don't make anything else, though, because they were using Riot for the slips before they moved on from Riot. Riot actually dropped them, is what happened, because Riot wasn't going to be able to keep up with a monthly schedule. Could you imagine Riot on a monthly schedule the last 3 years? Fuck no. Not even close. And Jackwolf has, dude. I have my own QSP OEM slip joint. It is not QSP, dude. What I can tell you 100% certainty it is not QSP. Just saying. They make a great slip joint. I'm not arguing that. The Jackwolves are still better. I mean, I would say if I gave Jackwolf the CAD file for the nip slip, it would be better. Probably. Now there's a little thing in there that is different between the two. The nip slip has a stop pin, which I'm about to get to, and the Jackwolf has a kick. And that's, I think, an important distinction. That's a mechanical difference. It makes the production of the knife more difficult, in my opinion. That's a little thing that some people aren't going to realize, and they're not going to put any stock in that. But I think that's a decently big deal when it comes to the production cost and stuff like that. But I'm going to go through all that in a second. GEC, yeah, they're in a similar price range. The GECs, as far as I understand, I'm not a GEC guy. They're way more traditional than I like. That's why I've always liked Jackwolf, because I like the carbon fibers and the titanium and the S90V versus stainless and micartas and stuff. So the materials on this specific one are not appealing to me, if that makes sense. But yeah, GECs I think are like 150 to 200, but they're made in the United States. Now they're made with 1098 or 1095 steel, which is very cheap, and the quality is not even close. I've handled a number of GECs, and they're not even in the same ballpark as a Jackwolf. Yes, they're made, Jack Wolfs are made in China. That is a fact. But GECs are nowhere near the quality. They're good. They're good for a USA made slip joint because most of the ones made here are garbage. So there's that. But again, that might not matter to you. You might not notice that stuff. So in that case, I'm talking to a wall. You know what I mean? Anyway, so this is a Rosecraft. I wanted to show it because it's the same materials, basically. You're talking about stainless steel, bolsters and everything, and made in China. And this is $63 or $65, something like that. So I wanted to compare them, right? Because $199, $63. That's a pretty big difference. So this has also very good craftsmanship. I mean, again, for $63, this is excellently done. The quality, I've always been pretty shocked by how well done these are. Now, it's not the same level as this. This is ridiculous. I mean, that is a solid piece of steel right there. You can clearly see the lines here. You can see the gaps. Are they minimal? Yes. Is this excellent? Yes. Not arguing that. But it's not the same level as that. These are pinned construction, and I'll admit I know nothing about pinned construction, so that could be harder for all I know. It kind of seems like it would be harder, but I honestly don't know the answer to that. They make these for pennies, so maybe it is easier somehow, but I'm pretty sure these are pinned construction unless there's something going on underneath that they hide to make it look like pin construction, but somebody would know better than me on that. But you know, you have pretty well done bolsters as well. I mean, I can grab the lip on it. Let me check this one just for consistency. Like I said, I've always been impressed with Rosecraft's fit and finish. For the price point, it's pretty silly, honestly. Yeah, I mean, they're really good. But again, you're going to have those little things, like I can catch a lip here and there or whatever, that you're probably not going to have here. I mean, maybe one out of however many might have one little, you can catch the lip kind of thing, but they're basically flawless when it comes to the inlays and stuff like that. So it's just the elevation of fit and finish and quality that you pay for that may not be worth it for some people. And that's kind of what this all comes down to. And the other thing I wanted to mention is Rosecraft uses D2 steel. And I've actually asked them about bumping it up to a stainless to 14. I've even thought like 9CR would be cool, right? Because D2, 9CR. But D2 is essentially the bottom of the barrel. So $63 with basement steel. I don't know what this would cost in 14C. They told me they're not changing it anytime soon. And I think part of that is the price. It's probably because the price is going to go up to use 14C. So I don't know if this would go up to $100 or $75 if they did 14C, but it would increase the cost, obviously. And then the finishing on the blade and basically the whole knife is obviously, well, maybe not to everybody, but it's much lesser than you get here. So is this a great knife? Yes. For $63, is this a steal? Yeah, their quality for what you get is ridiculous. If you're looking for an affordable slip joint, this is really where you want to go, is Rosecraft. You don't want to look at Jack Wolf if you want an affordable slip joint, like a budget style slip joint. But, you know, you look at the belt satin, the horizontal flats, the way that they finished the stainless steel. It's just a different animal, and it is what it is, you know? And I don't think that me talking for another hour about it, which I won't, I promise, is not going to change a lot of people's minds that are just like, stainless steel, 14C, $199. That makes no sense, right? And it's probably the same people who say S90V, camo carbon, titanium, slip joint, China, $299. That makes no sense, right? It's the same thing. I do think that if I'm being honest, it's easier for me to justify the premium Jack Wolf than it is to justify the Steel Series Jack Wolf. But nonetheless, it's the same exact explanation. It's just the quality of the knife, the execution of the knife, and it's the details. Oh, I didn't go over the kick thing. So the other thing I mentioned, other than pins, other than the finishes, other than the clear difference in construction and fit and finish there, this knife has a stop pin. The Rosecrafts use a stop pin, which is modern, which is what most slip joints use these days. The Nip Slip has a stop pin. The Barley has a stop pin. Pretty much every slip joint you're going to get these days, especially made in China, is going to have a stop pin, right? And basically what that does is there's a pin down there, and when the blade closes, it hits that pin, and it does not allow that blade to travel any further, so you don't hit the spring down here. Because if that blade could keep traveling, it would hit the spring, which would jack up the edge, and your knife is useless, right? The way Jack Wolf does it is what's called a kick. This is the more traditional way, because they didn't have stop pins back in the day, I guess. Probably because they pinned shit, and I don't know. Probably just machining wise, it wasn't a thing back then. So it has this little guy right here. This little piece of the blade sticks out past the edge, and you'll see there's no pin down here. There's nothing down there except the stop pin or the spring, which is shaped a certain way. And when you close the blade, that piece that juts out, that hits the spring, and it keeps the blade up so the blade cannot hit the spring. And that's the more traditional way to do it. And if you slam it closed, sometimes with a kick, if there's not a ton of room, if you really slam it, you can actually override it, and you'll jam it too far that it'll actually push past the kick and it'll hit the spring. So it's just a different way to do it. It's the more traditional way. And the main reason why people prefer a kick, and I prefer a kick, is the acoustics. So when you close a slip joint with a kick, it has a nice sound to it, just like when you're opening it. right? Where if you take a slip joint with a stop pin, that sounds great. That sounds great. But when it closes, it just has this like dull thwack. Versus, so that's why, that's the difference between a kick and a stop pin. And this, I believe, is harder to pull off, takes more skill. And again, it lends towards that execution, fit and finish, craftsmanship side of things that you get here that you're not getting on like a Rosecraft or whatever, a parts knife, so to speak. So if you're talking about a locking knife, when you flick it open and it can ting because of a stop pin, sure. But there's no ting when you close a slip joint with a stop pin. It's just a thud. It kills the acoustic, in my opinion. So anyway, that's my rundown and my spiel on the Steel series. So I guess I would say, who's this for? I think this is for somebody who's been super interested in Jack Wolf and just has that hard cap at $200 or whatever. Just can't bring themselves to spend $300 on a knife, but they love these designs, right? And they want to feel that fit and finish, that execution and craftsmanship. That's who this knife is for. Other than that, I think it's a, I don't know the right word for it. It's basically a sign or whatever that to me says the premium knives are actually a better value than we think, right? You're getting a lot for that $100. That $100 is, I mean, it's pretty crazy what you're getting for that $100 between the $199 and the $299. That's what this tells me more than anything. So I'll shut up about it because I know a lot of you want me to. And I probably lost like 20 people on that rant, but I wanted to go through it. So another fact I'll tell you is the Benny's clip is my least favorite of the designs. I don't know what it is. I just don't like this. I don't love this design. It's a good knife. It's quality. Like I said, I can respect everything about it. It's just the actual design doesn't appeal to me the way most of them do. You know, like this one from last month. This is one of my favorites. This thing's insane, dude. Love it. So anyway, if anybody has any questions about it, feel free to ask them. If you guys want me to go through your questions about it, you can. Just reapply your comments because I don't want to go back 45 minutes because I just went over that for 45 minutes. What is it? 12 o'clock? Cool. You probably just hurt your Divo sales. Ben appreciates your effort, though. Just kidding. I'm a gosh dang comedian. Divo sales for what? What do you mean? What Divo sales would I hurt? If I was trying not to hurt Divo sales, I wouldn't show you guys any of the shit I show you. I wouldn't show you this because this is dropping 3 days after the Tall Boy. I definitely wouldn't show you Jack Wolf's because I'm trying to sell slip joints, you know, in a few weeks and so on and so on. But I have a passion for knives and I like sharing them. And I I want everybody to succeed. So I'm happy to share anybody's knife over mine. So I would shut the channel down if I cared about that. No, but you still said it, so I still have to address it. That's what you get with me. Leafy found that out last week. He's probably gone too. He's probably like, fuck this, not again. What up, Knife Fanatic? Late to the party. What was that knife you just showed? Also buying a purple tall boy. Yeah, this one. This is the Ticonic Ticon 1. This is a new brand by Tough Knives and RSK, and it's dropping on the 15th. I believe at Ticonic.com. It's OEM by Vosteed's shop, which I believe is called Grand Knife. They're the ones doing our nip with the top liner lock. Very cool. I love this thing. Yeah, that was too funny. I felt bad too, because I wasn't trying to like come at the guy. I was just, I was ranting. Yeah, dude, I'd be bored as shit if all I cared about was Divos, If our knives are good enough to sell them, we'll sell them, I'm not scared of anybody else's stuff. In fact, I want everybody else to do well. So, do you think the titanium tall boys will go quick? I don't know how they'll go. Hopefully it goes well. It sounds like people are really excited for the tall boy, so I'm happy about that. I would expect 80s to go fast just because it's 80s, and at this point, it just seems like 80s is going to go no matter what you put it on. I think I would expect purple to go fast or fast-ish, but then again, we ordered 150 instead of 100 because I'm so smart, apparently. So black pearl might go fast because we only have 50. These might go fast because they're fucking gorgeous, and I think it's the only blacked out one, and it's the only one without milling. And the titanium could go because it's titanium. As long as White Mountain's website works, I might tell them to put them up like a half hour early, just cause. So really, I think it could be any of them could go fast or not. I really don't know. I'm thinking the titanium might last the longest. I don't know. Or the purple because we have more. I have no idea. It's always a crapshoot. We tried to make it where you guys had a lot of options, and I think you do. I mean, you have purple, you have green, you have blacked out, you have milled, you have not milled, you have titanium, you have 80s, and then you have just a black one. So I feel like we gave you plenty of options, and it's up to you guys, whatever you think makes the most sense for you. So, yeah, most people are cool. I agree. I agree. When are you going to sell scales only so we can swap crap later? Well, I don't know. I think it's tough when you're talking about like a liner lock. It's different than, it's not like a knife with inlays. Like I get it on the Lush. On the Lush, you guys want scales. That makes sense. But I don't know. Like part of it, I think, is one, we just don't even think about it. We've never really had a conversation about scales. We sold scales for the stout before. We had them made here by Carbonize, but by the time we had them made, sold them, they ended up being like $110 for you guys for scales on a knife that cost $280 or whatever. And then we're not making any money on them, really. It's just for fun, essentially. And then you end up hurting yourself because you're losing sales because people could be buying a new knife instead of buying just scales. So from that aspect, I think business-wise, it doesn't really make sense to sell scales unless you don't have a lot of knives to sell. You know what I mean? And if we're going to do a new run to do scales, we might as well order a bunch of knives instead. So I don't know. Mostly it's just we haven't thought about it, but I've thought about it more since because people keep asking. And that's kind of where I've landed on it. Like it's just a tricky situation. I think maybe it would be cool when we order a knife, maybe to get some extra scales to sell. I think that's what you're getting at. That might be a good way to do it. So I think for knives with inlays, that does make sense. Like the Stout V2, we have another batch coming, and I think we will have a few, like some extra scales for it. So, we'll start thinking about it now that it's been mentioned. We just have so much going on and like, it's just hard to think of everything, honestly. 249, Mick. It's Mick, right? Not Mike. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just going to call you Mick. 249 is what they have it listed at. Inlays that work on multiple different knives. So you only make one and it works for all of them. Yeah, see, that makes sense from a consumer standpoint, but from a business standpoint, it doesn't. Because now we're selling scales that cost not that much. And instead of buying multiple knives, you're buying one and then scales. So it doesn't make that much sense when I think about it that way. Or are you saying like a knife, like different designs that all have the same inlay? That's an interesting concept. That'd be kind of cool, actually. If you had it, like all your knives had the same inlay. I don't know how that would work, but and then you could sell scales and then people could put them on all your different knives. That'd be kind of cool. It's probably not what you meant, but interesting idea. In the end, it's your money. A knife is worth what you're willing to pay, and you buy what you enjoy and love. It is your decision and what others do. Well, and the other thing, Rob, is the market. The market will dictate. So if people don't buy the Steel series, well, then, he can say, I tried to give you a more affordable knife. You've been asking, this is what I could do. That's what they could do. They tried. I mean, they went to 14C, which is on the lower end of what's reasonable these days. They went to steel. They dropped the packaging and they knocked $100 off. They tried. It just tells me that it's an expensive product to have made. It doesn't tell me that they're greedy. I feel like that's why I get up in arms about it. It's not because I do like Ben a lot. It's not because I feel like I have to defend Jack Wolf. It's because people insinuate that they're just pocketing all this money, right? Instead of lowering the price. When that's, knowing what I know, that is clearly not the case. It's just an expensive product to make. And so I just try to explain that. And maybe that's how I should explain it instead of all the ways I explained it. I don't know. But that's where I'm coming from. It has nothing to do with defending or whatever. It's just, I guess it is in a way, like, because it's a friend and it's a brand that I trust and enjoy, and people assume an incorrect thing about it. But anyway, we were moving on from that. $24.90 off with code Lefty10. Are you talking about the Ticon one? I don't think so, because Vosteed never has codes from me, so I doubt that Ticonic wood. I don't know why that goes hand in hand, but you know, the knife is similar, the price is similar. I'm just going to assume no. But I might have a link for it. And once I do, I'll share it. Let me modify my shit because I want skills. Yeah. No, I get it. I'm just telling you why we haven't done it yet. Mostly because we haven't thought about it. And secondly, because we did it once and it was a pain in the ass. And we didn't make any money. And thirdly, because if I really think about it, it hurts our knife sales more than it helps our knife sales. So to me, it makes more sense for people to go find a custom maker who makes scales. Like Match Anderson, he makes scales for the Lush. There's people who make scales for our other knives. We'd be happy to provide the CAD file for a knife if you want to get scale made by somebody who does that, like Carbonize. We could give him the Stout V2 file and he can make scales for it. Stuff like that makes more sense to me than us doing it. Then again, I'll start thinking about it now. But we're not going to do it for a knife like this that has a full frame. You know what I mean? Like if it's an inlay, I get it. If it's this, it's just, you got to strip the entire knife to the bone, like to the bone to swap it. And no matter how well made a knife is, it's not going to work out every time. So you're going to have knives that are off center. You're going to have issues with action because the tiniest tolerance is off in there. And it's just not worth it. So I was going to open these Civibis. Maybe we could do that. Yeah, that's true. That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, then all your inlays are the same. That makes it, you know. The Lush had a drop of both 80s and Flow Party very recently. Maybe that's it. I'm not sure what you're answering, but yes, that is what we had. That did happen. There's no Flow Party on the Tall Boy, just 80s. And there's Purple Flow. Is that, maybe that's what you're mixing up. This is called Purple Flow. And then there's Flow Party on the Lush. Oh, did I show you guys the Lush I put on? I put the gold scales on the black. I really like how this looks. Yeah, so we updated the, we got CAD done for this and updated it. So it has a milled clip, kind of like the Tall Boy, where it goes into the wire things and it's reversible. Can't remember if we changed anything else. That was mostly what we wanted to change. I think. Yeah. My brain's not working anymore. I don't think Ben's greedy. I just think he's getting raked over the coals and they're paying for it. I don't think that's true, man. I think that people just aren't familiar enough with the construction of these knives. Like, they're not just run-of-the-mill slip joints. I don't know. And to be honest, $300 is not that much for these knives. That's the thing for me. That's the other part of it is I don't have any issue with $300 for what you get in these knives. Like, it's insane. That price is good. It's not like, yeah, you're getting some great value, but I don't go, oh my God, 300. I go, okay, $300. Like, I paid $325 for this knife and I didn't blink an eye. You guys probably didn't either. You're probably like, okay, that's $325 made by Riyadh. I don't understand how that's any different. Like they have versions of Jack Wolves with the blasted scales, a carbon inlay, a hand satin, and it's $299. And this is a good deal. $325. I don't have any problem with that from Berg. But just because it's a slip joint, people think somehow it's like way less expensive or something. It's just, you got to look at it like, you know, it's the same thing with locking knives. QSP makes knives for cheaper. So they're just using a high-end OEM. That's pretty much the way you could look at it. And you're getting a high-end product. So, Grape Pop. That's a great name for it. The Grape Pop Tall Boy. I like Purple Nurple, but still, Grape Pop. Yeah, the way the purple pops is real nice. It's real nice, Clark. You give me a cousin tall boy at 50 more, 75 more, but I pick what I want. Sign me up. A what? Say what? I'm not sure what you meant. Sorry. Which model was the Jack Wolf you held up that you said is your favorite? I said it was one of my favorites. It's not my favorite. I can show you my favorite if you want. This is the Venom Jack. These dropped last month. And this is the rock pattern Venom Jack, which looks like snake scales to me. So it makes perfect sense. This thing is excellent. My favorite would probably be the Feel Good Jack. And then the Little Bro, the Venom, and the Midnight. Those ones. And then maybe the Low Drag after that. Hell yeah, dude. Just outsource your scale. But that's what I'm saying, dude. I'll just give him the file, and he can sell them if he wants. I don't want to deal with it. It's not worth it, dude. I would have to sell those scales. They sell their scales for what, $130 or something? So if I buy them from him, then I have to add something to make money. Now I got to sell them for $150, $200 for fucking scales? No, thank you. So I'll provide the file. You can have whoever you want make it. You know what I mean? Or they can offer that option. Just doesn't, I don't know, just doesn't make sense. You got to do limited edition type stuff and make it in a limited run. That would be fun. I mean, we do. We have the exclusive models for different dealers. So like this is the Blade Binge exclusive tall boy. So far, I don't think we've done a rerun of anything that's been an exclusive like that. Oh. Got it. You're talking about scales. Can you guys stop with the scales? I'll stop talking about Jack Wolf pricing. You stop talking about scales. Deal? Shit. Just open the box in a separate video so you can make content from it. Nah, I don't like doing unboxings anymore. You know? I don't like doing unboxings anymore. Did you pay $300 for a Jack Wolf? Yeah, I've paid $300 for, I don't know, like 10 of them, 15 of them, maybe. I have one from every drop, but then they've given me one, but I've also bought probably 10 or 15 as well because I wanted a different color or I wanted another one in it, whatever. Like I think I have 3 Midnights, or I did. I gave away one. So yeah, I mean, I've spent my money on there. That's why I don't have a problem talking about it. If I only had the knives they gave me, then yeah, I get it. You could I guess you could question where I'm coming from, but I've spent plenty of money on Jack Wolf knives. And I have no problem. I would have no problem if I saw a knife from them that I had to have, right? And for whatever reason, they sent me a different one or they stopped sending me knives. I don't know. And I saw one that I really wanted. I would go and buy that knife instantly. I wouldn't fucking bat an eye at the price. I'm not sure if that's what you were saying. I'm just, yeah, I'm interpreting. When you were raised on government cheese, $300 a lot for anything. Well, these days, they'll fucking government will pay for everything. So they'll probably buy you a fucking Jack Wolf. Ask, never mind. Never mind. Not going there. Is the lock bar on the mini growler like the mash now? I really like the jimping on the normal growler V2. What do you mean? Is it like the mash? Do you mean it does it have the jimping? No, we got rid of it because most people say the jimping is just annoying if anything. If anything, it's a negative. So we took it off on the mini. And it feels better. So it's not like harder to use, it's better. But if you mean is it a inset tab lock like the mash, then yes, we changed it from the way the growler is. The growler V2 has a full liner, pretty sure, on the lock side. The mini growler just has a lock tab. That's it, just the one little bar for the lock bar. I said I wouldn't talk about it, but I didn't say I wouldn't put up a comment. D10 on the Lush V2 was much better. Well, not a V2. That was a batch 2. We're actually working on a V2. Yeah, that knife, it has to be a little bit lighter, I think. But I am curious how a Riot or even a Kubi would do it. Or we might try to, try a new OEM. We're trying some new ones. Like we have a knife in the works with Ramet. We're having them do the bender. So we're getting new prototypes on this knife from Ramet. Just to see the, how they do and see the pricing, because Best Tech's just very expensive and it's starting to get hard to justify it because we don't want to do pre-orders anymore. And if we don't want to do pre-orders, that means we need to find a shit ton of money to do a run with Best Tech. I mean, you're talking over $100 grand to do a pretty small run with Best Tech. So I'd rather find an OEM that, like, we love working with Kubi because you can get really quality stuff, good materials, good quality craftsmanship, and the price is reasonable enough where you're not dropping a freaking 100 G's, which we don't have 100 G's. We don't have 100 G's. Mostly because all our money is tied up in other projects. We have 12 of them going on at all times. So yeah, if we just stopped putting new things into production and prototype and everything, and then just sold what we had and let all the money come in, yeah, we'd probably have enough to do we'd have enough to do a run with Best Tech on something. But then you wouldn't see a Divo knife for a year, probably. We kind of like having a drop here, a drop there, a drop here. This year it's been a little crazy where they all came at once. That's not ideal, but I'd rather sell 5, 6, 7 really good knives for a really good price than sell one awesome knife for a higher price. Right? For me, that makes more sense. Anyway, so Ramet, and then I started talking to Farrah Monster because the stuff they sent me was dope. So I just was like, hey, how much would this cost? Just want to see. And then Vosteed's OEM or whatever, Grand Knife, they're working on that nip with the top lock for us. So we're, but mostly all our stuff goes through Kubi these days because they just kill it. Are actually going to have WMK drop their version early. Just wondering. Oh, yeah. I mean, I plan to talk to Justin and say, hey, do you want to put the tie one up early? Because this is what happens with their website. They put something in stock, and then he says it takes like 20, 25 minutes for the website to update. So it'll say sold out for like 20 minutes. So people go to the website, they're like, oh, I want this nip. And then they're like, oh shit, it's sold out. And they go to another site and buy one, or they forget about it. They go, it's sold out. Or they say, well, I'm just going to get one of Divo or traditional pocket knives or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's what happened with the Nip Light, because all the other versions are basically sold out. We have like 5 or 10 purple aluminums left on our website. Every other version sold out. And they sold out in a day or two or a weekend. And White Mountain has like a lot of the blue aluminum left. So either people just don't like blue aluminum, or they didn't advertise that version enough. They didn't do enough marketing. Or what has happened in the past, people go to their website on drop and they're like, I'm going to get this. And then it's sold out. And then they go buy another one, or they forget about it. And yeah, sure, some people go back and look again, and then it's there, then they buy it, or they get one later. But you could miss out on a good number of orders if right at drop time, your shit is not working. So I was thinking I'd just tell them like, hey, put them up a little early. It's not going to hurt anybody. I mean, if I don't think anybody else would care. Any of the other dealers would care. And most likely it's just going to turn on at the right time. If they put it up a half hour early, then it'll probably switch on right around the drop. I don't know. Maybe they already fixed that, and maybe people just don't like blue aluminum. But as far as I understand, that's how their website's still working. I think it's fair to say that none of the small knife companies are getting rich off $300 knives. It's a living. It's a love for bringing these products to consumers, to enthusiasts. Yeah. I mean, at the most, they're making enough money to not have to work a day job. But that's not ridiculous for somebody to want to do. I mean, honestly, I should start thinking about doing that. But then we got to raise our prices. But I would love to just be doing this instead of working a day job. It's literally killing me right now. And it's like 1 a.m. now. Fuck. Why doesn't Lefty 10 work? It doesn't work on any Jack Wolf. Jack Wolf doesn't allow discount codes. So the reason they do that is because they don't want to give one dealer an advantage, because one dealer might have a discount code. So people will just go there and buy those, and then other dealers would lose sales because of it. So it's companies that work with a lot of dealers. They basically just say no codes. It's easier that way. And this has actually been a topic that I've thought about, because when we sell our knives to dealers, we try to make sure that they get a 30% margin, because that's what dealers usually have to run on to exist, right? Some dealers will have a 30% margin, and then they'll have their 10% code, like White Mountain Knives. And his process or his plan or whatever you want, a strategy has been, I'm just going to sell a lot of knives at this rate with a 10% discount, and I'm going to make money because I'm going to sell a shit ton of them, right? And that's how it'll work out. It'll build the brand because people will love that I have a code and whatever. And it's worked for White Mountain Knives. But then you have other brands like Traditional Pocket Knives is a dealer who doesn't have a bunch of discount codes. When they have an exclusive, they'll give affiliates a code so that you can get $5 off. They rarely do a 10% code. The only time they do it is really for us, or I think Rosecraft. And that's because we offer a 10% code directly on our website. So and then White Mountain has a 10% code. And now Blade Binge has a 10% code. So Traditional Pocket Knives is like, I got to add a 10% code because I just want to do what everybody else does. I don't want my knife to be $10 more than everybody else or $20 more or whatever, right? So I've been trying to think about it because when we sell them the knives, we sell them at the 30% margin, but then all of them allow 10% codes. And now they're losing 10% off the top right away. So their margin gets destroyed. Then you add in, they have to ship it, which some people charge for, some people don't. You have credit card processing fees, etc. Business shit, right? So in the end, our knives getting sold by dealers, they're not getting 30%. They're probably getting like 20%. And part of that's factored in. That's why they ask for 30% because they know they're going to lose some on fees and shit. But that 10% really hurts. And so I've been trying to figure out a way to deal with this because I want to take care of the dealers. And none of them are complaining, but like I can clearly see it's a thing. And I want to make sure that they're taken care of. But the only way I can figure to take care of it is there's two things. We could not allow codes, but I feel like that would hurt sales because I feel like the codes are a selling point. Right? I don't know. I feel like the codes make more sense to have than not have. The other option is to raise the prices, so now you get into a situation where you're raising the price so that you can get the price to where you want it with the 10% code, which just seems counterintuitive to me. Like the way I always think of the retail pricing is I think of the retail price and then, yeah, sure, people use a code and then the price goes down. So we end up making less than we think we will because we're allowing everybody to use these codes, which of course you realize and you factor in your head. But anyway, it's just a really tricky thing. So I don't know what we're going to do about it. Yeah, codes make people feel warm and fuzzy. So like, would you rather, let's say it's a knife that's $199. Let's talk about the tall boy, right? Would you rather that knife be $209 and you can use a 10% code, or $199 and no code, right? Or maybe $219 and a 10% code, which basically makes it $199, right? It's like stupid to me. This is the kind of shit you have to think about when you run a business. It's dumb. So I don't know. I'm kind of thinking we land in the middle somewhere, like raise the price, but just raise it a little bit so that it's not, covering the full 10%, because that just seems ridiculous. But we got to do something because like the dealers aren't making enough or what they should make, and of course we're taking a hit too because we do the same thing. So it's just weird. Yeah, exactly. I know that the consumer angle is, just keep it the same. I get that. I'm not changing the price on this knife. That's not what I was getting. I was just using it as an example. I'm saying going forward, I think we're just going to bump the prices up a little bit. I think we have to. We've been selling stuff at very low prices, if I'm being honest. trying to make it as affordable as possible. But we also have to run a business and make sure our dealers are happy because they're part of the reason we have a business. They support us. If you look at White Mountain Knives, Blade Binge, traditional pocket knives, we've sold like thousands of knives through those dealers in the last couple years. So without them, we'd be making a lot less money. We'd be less of a bit. We wouldn't be able to do as many things as we do. So we got to do something to take care of them. So I think the prices are going to go up a little bit next year. I don't think it'll be a big difference. I'm talking like $10. You know what I mean? Like, let's say it's a $200 knife, $199. Instead of covering the full discount, it'll be $209 and a 10% code. So you'll end up at $189 instead of $199, 10% at $179. You know what I mean? Somebody's probably following along with this fucking conversation. No, this is literally that all made perfect sense to me, obviously. Somebody's following along. Yeah, it's done, but it's business. If you're gonna do away with the discount codes, I don't want to do away with the codes. That's what I'm saying. Because if you think about it, even from a business aspect, it makes more sense to have the codes because think about it. If you're pricing it at a little bit higher and then adding the code to bring it down versus just pricing it a little bit down, you're going to have people who don't use the code and you're making more money on the ones where they don't use the code. So that helps your business a little bit. So for me, that makes sense. Plus, like we talked about, you get the warm and fuzzies with codes. I agree. And I feel like it takes away from the ability for an affiliate to do well, and I look at this because I do both sides of it, right? I have a business where we have affiliates and I'm an affiliate for a bunch of companies. If you have a discount code to offer, it makes it way easier to help promote a product because people get a discount code and they're like, oh shit, I get a code. And they go put that code in and then you get credit for it. But trying to just pimp a link is really hard because people just see the product. They search the product. They don't necessarily go find your code or link and click it. It's much more reasonable to think that somebody's just going to put your code in and then you get credit for it. So I don't want to take that away from our affiliates by taking the codes away, even though that is probably the more logical, easier way to do this. So I think I'll just split the gap and say raise the prices by 5%. That way the codes still help enough that it's worth it. And we get to keep the codes in place and we get that extra 5% to go to the dealers. So that's where I'm at with that. Yeah, just shop at WMK, no tax. Well, we don't charge tax in unless you live in Georgia or PA where we have Nexus. We don't charge tax either in the US. I guess New Hampshire is a no sales tax state. That's why he doesn't have to charge tax anywhere. Usually you have to charge tax in the state that you have what's called Nexus, which is like where your business locations are. So Colin lives in Georgia. I live here. We literally ship products out of both of those places. So we have Nexus in those places. We have to charge sales tax. But any other state, you don't have to. This is for online businesses. I don't know how it works for maybe if you have a certain size business or have enough locations, you have to charge tax everywhere. But right. Yeah. But most places don't charge tax in California, do they? Like we don't. We never charge tax in California. That would suck, dude. You guys get killed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not everyone will use a code, which helps you out a little bit for the people who don't. You know what I mean? How about a code for free shipping? I'd be happy with that. Yeah, that's true. That's another option. But like White Mountain already has free shipping. So you're not, that's the other thing. I don't want to take away. So the codes help the affiliates. That's one thing. And then I don't want to take anything away from dealers. Like with White Mountain, we have to be like, oh, you can't use the code. So then he has to explain to everybody that asks, why isn't the code working? Why isn't the code working? Because everybody uses codes at White Mountain. So when they can't, they ask. You know what I mean? It's easier to just raise the price a little bit. And then when they use the code, it comes down to where you want it. You know what I mean? And again, if I just bump it 5%, that kind of works for everybody. I mean, technically, the end customer loses because it's more than it was, but it has to happen. So it's still better than the alternatives. All right, you guys get it. That 10% hit on the tall boy is only $650, but I'm fine with the pricing. So what do you mean it's $650? 10% of $199 is $20. I'm not sure what you mean. Where's the $650? The tall boy is $199. So if you take 10% of $199, that's $19.99. That's $20. That's a big chunk, right? I think, especially when the dealer's buying it from us for $140. Now they're getting 180 instead of 200. That's a pretty big difference. So what I'm saying is, in that case, which again, the tall boy is not changing. I'm not trying to say we're changing the price on the tall boy. I'm trying to think for the future. I'm talking about next year, right? Pretty much next year. Anything we put into production now, anything we've already done or agreed on, that's staying the same. But like something that's $199 next year instead will be $209, right? And then you use the code and it'll end up being $189 instead of $199 going down to $179. But the alternative is I raise the price to $219, right? And then use the code and you're down at $199. Or don't allow the code and now you're at $199. So I think that option makes the most sense. You're at $209, you go down to $189, you still save $20, but it's just basically $10 more than it would have been last year, essentially. I think they do have a storefront now, yeah. Blade HQ has no nexus in Texas, but they charge $820. Yeah. I don't know if it's extra profit. I think that's illegal, Rob. They have to send that money to Texas. And that's why I said it's stupid. They should just not charge it because then they wouldn't have to send it. And that's less work for their accounting team. Unless you're right and they are keeping it, which is illegal. So, but it's possible that there might be a rule that if you make X amount of money or you have X amount of physical locations and an online store that you have to charge tax in every state. I don't know. There could be something like that. I just know for us, for our size business, for where, we have Nexus in Georgia and PA, and we charge sales tax in those two places. We have charged sales tax in Texas before and Utah before because when we go to blade shows, we have to set up sales tax for our website. And sometimes I forget to remove it right away after the show. So there's probably some people who've been charged sales tax in Texas by us. But it's not because we have to anymore. It's just because I forgot to remove it after Blade Texas. So, but anything we collected gets sent to that state. Our accountant does that. Yo, what up, dude? How's it going? Good to see you. Prototypes, hell yeah, dude. It's the way to go. Yeah, dude. Smoky Mountain is ridiculous. Oh, DLT does too? That's crazy. I didn't think they would do that. It must be something at a certain level or something. Or if you have, maybe if you have a physical store and an online store, you have to charge tax everywhere. Or maybe they're just dumb and they don't know. Maybe they just don't realize that they don't have to. Yes, they have done that. They have done that. He's in Canada, dude. He's in Canada. Yeah, Denmark's rough. But that's what you get. And it's a socialist country, right? I mean, most places are. The main reason I shop at WK is, yeah. Man, I wish I got commission for that code. I could probably live off of that Lefty 10 code at White Mountain Knives. I guess. Yeah, dude. Apparently I'm teaching a business class. Nobody should listen to it. I'm probably wrong about half of it. It's not 99, it's 199. Get the fuck out of here. Where did that 650 come from? Maybe he was joking. I'm just wondering where my math came from. Sales tax needs to be 3%. Well, it depends on where you live. In PA, it's 6. Some places it's 0. Realistically, dealer gets $60 at current. 10% price reduction reduces that to $50. So they lose $10 as percent. It's greater than 10%. Loss more than like 60. No, they get $60 if you buy the knife without a code. If you buy the knife with a code, they get $40. 10% of $199 is $20. Am I crazy? I think my math is right. You just move the decimal point. So they lose $20. So going from 60 to 40, that's a big loss. Add on top of that, I talked to Blade Binge about that. Add on top of that, credit card fees, 3%. Add on top of that, somebody who uses Sezzle, that's another 6%. So you've now lost like 25%. You're only, I think he told me on Sezzle order, it's something like 12% that they end up with. So I just want to make sure we take care of the dealers. That's all I'm saying. You know? Hey man, I wish, dude. I'm not going to Blade West. Yeah. Right now, we've decided to only do Blade Atlanta, and we're trying to get a booth so we can go all out for Blade Atlanta and just do that show because Colin lives there. It's just so much easier. That might change. Maybe we'll end up doing more shows next year. But my wife is due October 7th, and Blade Texas or Blade West is like that weekend or something. So there's no way I was doing Blade West anyway. And we just needed a break. We've done so many and they're great. We love them. It's actually good for us because we kind of just, keep the cash, after we pay taxes on it. So it's usually good for us, but it's just a lot. And it's expensive too. It usually works out, and then we have to like hold back so much to do it, which kind of sucks. I could just sell those to people who ask. I don't know. You're boring as shit, Steve. Stevie. But no, you know what? Your name's fucking Steve now. Calling this boring. Steve. Scuba Steve. Scuba Steve. Scuba Steve. You want me to give up? Just shut down the company? That'd be easy. I wouldn't have to worry anymore. I'd just stop selling knives. Fuck yeah, we'll do that. How about that? No more coats, because no more knives. Careful what you ask for, Brian. I'm not talking in circles. That all made sense. You just have to be on my level. You must not be on my level. You know what I'm saying? What's your 100% OLED discount code? I need some subpar lighting. Dude, why do you hate OLED? Their shit's good, man. Their shit's good. I've been using a couple of their lanterns for like, months, maybe, even longer now. They're fucking amazing. I've had some OLEDs for over a year now, and they're all great. I don't think I've ever had one be shitty. So I don't know what flashlights are you buying? Yeah. So it's same concept, right? Yeah. Yep. Gandalf Rogan. I still don't get it. Gandalf has like a big gray ass beard. Or a white beard. And I don't get the Rogan part either. Hell yeah, dude. That's great. Honestly, if I like the knife enough, the price doesn't matter, aside from making sure I plan a bid for it. Yeah. Yeah, it's just we really like we like to keep it under 200. We like that 199. If you've ever noticed, we like 199, we like 99, and we like 175. Basically, we just try to keep it as cheap as fucking possible for you guys because we are knife guys that buy knives and we want knives to be cheaper. So we try to sell them as cheap as we can, but we're just getting to a point where the cost is not, it just doesn't make sense anymore. And the dealers, for the most part, have been the same way. They want that price to be lower so that they can sell their knives. They'd rather sell all their knives faster than have the price be higher, make a little more money, but have it take longer. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons we do it. But it's just getting to the point where even that is not like 199 is not what it used to be. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Plus, honestly, if I look at this knife, I don't think anybody would have complained if this was 250, except for me. I would have complained. I would have questioned it. Because I would have been like, are we making a little too much money on this? Like dumb shit like that. Probably not the best thing to think when you're running a business, but that's how we are. Like we want to be as affordable and fair and everything as possible. But in 2024, 2025, that means it's going to be 209 or whatever, a little over 200. And then it'll be, you know, then the way I'll pitch it is if you use the code, it'll be under 200. The 650 came from me thinking the dealer was losing 10% off only their profit margin. So a knife at 189 means the dealer gets 65-ish dollars. Oh, okay. All right. So you were doing too much math. And then you gave me $5 for making fun of you. No, I'm just kidding. Gave me $5 for saying you were wrong. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate you, dude. That makes more sense now. No, it's yeah. We were talking about 10% off the retail price. Yeah. Kay's here. What up, Kay? Welcome to the shit show. We're having a economics course tonight. Talking about the price of knives. So, Brian, you know what? That's not what I meant. I meant you're having to repeat yourself over and over. No, that's just what I do. That's just how I roll, sir. It's just how I roll. No. Is your discount code for skiff bearings 10 or 15%? 10. 10%, sir. Lefty EDC. When is that saloon planning to come to market? I don't know. Probably early, mid 25. We have to decide on the versions, talk to the dealers on if they want in on it, and then we have to order it, and then we have to wait. So probably early 25. We're going to have the tall boy. We're going to have the nip slip. We're going to have the fireball. And then we're going to have the Stout V2 traditional pocket knives exclusives drop. That's what's left for this year. And then we just placed the order for the mini growler this week. So I'm guessing end of the year, early next year for that one. And we're placing the order for the chaser. Do I have one of those? We're placing the order for the chaser as well. So that'll probably be early 25. And then the next one in will most likely be the saloon. So you only have like 7 knife drops before that one. I'm just waiting for the day where you guys stop liking our knives and then we just can't sell them. And we have like 7 runs of knives that just can't sell and we just die. That's what I'm waiting for. That's how positive I am. But at the same time, I don't want to wait months between drops. So taking the risk. Oh, yes, that makes sense. No, it doesn't. Where's the Rogan part? I don't get the Rogan part. Gandalf a little bit. I'd call him like Gandalf Smurf or something. Wizard Smurf. Oh my God. Now look at that. Rolf, he says he beat the shit out of his Olight and it's all good. It's his favorite at the moment. See that, Luke? You should buy one. Use my code, LeftyEDC, sir. Crow's Blade and Woodworks is a new member. Shout out to you. Thank you. Somebody's digging the economics course. So you're saying I overpaid for the damn bows, Kev? Nah. I don't know where you got that from. That knife was made by Best Tech. We can go all the way back to the beginning of the live stream where we talked about titanium liner locks. That's the titanium liner lock. It's really nice. But that one was made by Best Tech. And what did we charge for this? Pre-order was $299. That's actually a good price for a Best Tech made knife. Another reason we're looking, at trying to find another premium OEM. All right, so what I'm going to do is do the giveaway and then shut up and go to bed because this is getting ridiculous. I apologize. But this is where my brain was going tonight. And yeah. Yep. Are you going to name a model the Slur? No, that's probably going to get us in trouble with all the wokety wokes. What, the racial slur? You fucking. So, no, probably not. Plus, the slur isn't like, yeah. There's got to be a better way to like the Hangover. We talked about that one. We have the Buzz. I don't know. Maybe the slur is good. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Am I overthinking it? I mean, we did a knife called the Nip and the Nip Slip, and we have the nipple coming. So maybe the slur isn't so bad. Sorry, Stone Hands. I think you're good. You should do an Asher Divo collab. Yeah, that would be fun. I haven't thought about that. Should talk to Justin about it. He does his own thing, though. I mean, I guess so do we. That's a stupid statement. But, like, we don't interact too much lately. I think he's busy with his family, and then he just, gets his knives done, orders the next Spiro. That's amazing. How many Spiros? I think he sold more of the same model than anybody. And I would have never guessed that Vero has sold how many fucking synapses or EMP with nimbles? But I bet you he sold more Spiros than EMP has sold nimbles, or Vero has sold synapses, or whatever the model is that he sells more, the Impulse or whatever. Or Brian Brown Jaegers. I bet you Asher sold more Spiros than Brian Brown has Jaegers. It's got to be 10,000 Spiros at this point. He's done 25 different versions, and he's got to be ordering 600 or 800 at a time, probably because it's a budget knife most of the time. I don't know. It's crazy. I remember the first fucking Spiro prototype. He sent it to me back. This was fucking years ago, 2020. He sent me a Spiro prototype. It was a thumb stud knife. It looks nothing like it does now. And it had all types of issues like lash and fucking, it was like his original OEM that wasn't as good. Now he's using amazing OEM for the price. Ridiculous. But that model has come a long way. I mean, it should, because it's, he's done it 20 times. But it's just kind of interesting to think about. He's a good dude. I love Justin. Did the fireball change much from the prototype? Yeah. I mean, yeah. It depends. We did 2 prototypes, so it changed a lot from the first prototype. And then we did some changes again after the... Actually, they're all in those boxes right there. Kind of gave that away earlier, but I have them right there. They came today. But we're not... The drop is in October because we have other stuff going on. So I haven't even opened them yet. So I'm excited to get into them, but I don't want to cloud the waters. So you probably won't see them until after the tall boy drop. Although sometimes I get excited and can't help myself. So we'll see. And I'll talk to Stasa about it, but really excited about those. Stoked for the Chaser. Love that one. Played with it for like a half-hour blade show. Yeah, I feel like that one's a little bit of a sleeper. I don't think as many people know about the Chaser, but I'm stoked on it. And we have some really cool versions. The dealers came up with some wild shit. I mean, one of them came up with just a really interesting combination. I'm curious how it's going to go over. And then we have a pretty cool version. Urban EDC signed up on that one. We actually have 2 new dealers on that one. So usually we work with White Mountain, Traditional Pocket Knives, and Blade Binge. On the Chaser, we also have Urban Cutlery and Urban EDC. And Urban EDC is doing a Sagaha version that looked like his idea was pretty crazy in a good way with just the way that design is. I'll show you again. The way this design is with the filler tabs like that. Urban EDC just had a good idea. I think it's going to be cool. But we did, we changed. So we have the Urban EDC one has a different milling pattern. And then the one we're going to sell directly has a different milling pattern. And then the other ones have this pattern. And then there's a bunch of, between them, they're all different colors, finishes. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I love this knife. This is one of my favorite knives. And you can still flick it. You can flick it. It's got plenty of blades showing. You just flick the fucking thing. People kept asking for like a fuller and shit. And we didn't want to, like, it's supposed to be a flipper only look. You can still flick it. I mean, most people can flick it. All right. Is the new batch of stouts going to TPK? Yes. I tried to talk him out of it, actually. I didn't try to talk him out of lefties, but I tried to talk him out of ordering so many. I think he ordered 75 lefties, 25 of each version. And I mean, I told him, I was like, dude, when we did the V2 ourselves, we ordered 63. And I think I have 2 in my closet still. And it took a while to sell them all. So I was like, I don't know if you want 75, dude. But he's like, I just want to keep it even. I want to support the lefties because they got excited when he said the lefties got really excited when he dropped the stouts that he had. So he wanted to support that and get more lefties. So that's why he ordered that many. But yeah, he ordered 25 of each version. So there's going to be plenty, trust me. And all the versions are dope as fuck, dude. I mean, we absolutely killed it on that. Yeah. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. That'll probably be the last one this year. Probably be like in November or something. I don't know. Buttery nipple. All right, let's talk about the giveaway. I skipped to the bottom. You guys are hilarious. So I have 3 things. There's no knife in here, believe it or not. I'm hoping whoever wins has this knife that I have scales for. Hey, somebody asked for scales earlier. There you go. So anyway, the first thing is this Olight. Shout out to Luke. This is a Olight compass. I don't know if you guys saw my video, but it's a titanium compass. And it's actually really cool. It's got like a it's got like an artifact thing going on where it locks in here, and then you can actually loosen this. And as you loosen it, obviously, it loosens in the middle, and then it becomes a whatever the hell you call it, where it self-levels itself basically in there. It's really cool. And it's, a good compass, and it's see, self-levels. You can't really show you unless I close it again. And it's titanium. They did like a Kickstarter on this, I think. So that's one thing. A compass. You guys are funny. It's too late, man. I'm fucking tired. Can't even think straight. Come on. God damn it. It took forever to close it. All right, so that's the compass. There's a little bottle of KPL Original. It's normally in a little cardboard thing and then behind plastic, but I couldn't fit it in this box with everything, so I just took it out of the plastic. It's brand new though. KPL Original. Shout out to KPL. And then Get Good Screw sent me a set of bug out scales. So these are titanium bug out scales with this milling pattern on it. Pretty cool looking pattern. So they're contoured titanium, and they have the milling on it. I know a lot of people have bug outs, so I'm hoping most of you have one. Oops. And if you don't, I don't know, maybe you could sell them, or maybe you could find a bug out for cheap on the secondary, but these are really nicely made. I just don't have a bug out. So I figured I'd give them to you guys. They also sent me a Sebenza large Sebenza scale. I sent that to a friend, but I figure most people have a bug out versus a Sebenza. So those will be the giveaway items. Or if you don't have one, maybe you could find somebody who does and give it to them. I don't know. But I always figure worst case, you can, maybe you can make $50 off of whatever I sent you. Better than nothing, right? So, just put all this back. So that's the giveaway. What happened to that Benchmade you bent on the stream? Oh, that wasn't a Benchmade. That was a Best Tech. That was the, it went in the trash. What do you mean? The, what was that thing called? The Cicada's Wing? That thing was garbage, dude. That was supposed to be Ultim. There's no way that was Ultim. That was shit, is what that was. I'm going to make you guys spell Ticonic just to give these guys a shout out. I want to support these guys as much as I can. They're just good knife makers, starting a knife brand. I think it's awesome. So hashtag Ticonic. It's like iconic with a T in front of it. And this knife is sick, dude. Let me find the right one. There it is. I love this thing. Oh, I meant to check if it was a hollow ground blade. Whoever it was earlier that said Jack Wolf said it was a flat grind on the Benny's clip. Did they say that was for the Steel Series or in general? Or is that like a Steel Series thing? Or is that just what they did with the Benny's clip? This is flat. I thought this was hollow. Damn. Okay. So this is flat. Feels hollow almost, and it gets pretty thin. I was going to do a disassembly on it. Probably put skiffs in there. But the pivot walked, so I put a little bit of glue in there just to keep it tight for now. I might have over-tightened it. It still swings down, but it like stops right before it closes. Or it bounces out, I guess. Oh, shit. Just hammered my MacBook. Chipped it too. Damn. Blade's fine though. Good for the blade. bad for the MacBook. Jesus, Kev. When does that knife drop? Yeah, the 15th, they told me. You guys like it? I hope you like it. I love it. And I think 250 is reasonable for that. You know? Which Jack Wolf is flat ground? Well, so the new, the Benny's clip, the Steel Series one that I got, this one looks to be flat ground. I put a ruler on it. I mean, it's possible it's a shallow hollow. Maybe it is. Put the ruler up to it, though. And then somebody said they mentioned it. I mean, I'm not seeing any light under there. Maybe a little bit. Still, I mean, it's a really good knife. I'll just look it up and see. It'll probably tell me, right? Jack Wolf. And I think Jack Wolf is actually selling directly this time, if I understand that correctly. Benny's Club website, no USA made slip free. Oh, if you purchase from their website, you get a USA made slip for free. Interesting. So they're actually giving you an enticement to buy from their site. That's kind of interesting because they mostly sell it through dealers. It does say hollow ground. So yeah, it's hollow ground. Never mind. My bad. Just shallow, I guess. Yeah, this thing's sick, dude. Just perfectly fits my hand. Some of you big-handed folk are might think it's a little small. Scuba Steve. Oh man, fucking zoning out. Contacts are like dry as fuck right now. Do you know where it's going to drop? Not 100%. I think Ticonic.com. I will give you a link as soon as I can. I think there's going to be another live stream before then. So hopefully by next Thursday, I'll have a link and all that shit for you. So if you tune in next week, and I'll have a video up with everything in it too. Hey, Kev, would it be okay if I sent that saloon proto to Rob's Nerdy Night? No, I don't care. I wouldn't mind getting his feedback. Yeah, we haven't sent the prototypes out to anybody yet. We've just been slammed with stuff. So eventually we were going to get to that. So I say the more feedback, the better. That reminds me, dude. I was reading your email that you sent after you got it, and then it disappeared. I don't know what I did, but Traditional Pocket Knives was clearing out his affiliate stuff, and I got like 8,000 emails at once for like affiliate orders that were like, they're approved, it's approved, it's approved. And I hit select all to delete them, and I know I didn't select yours or like ones at the bottom, but then they disappeared. So I must have fucked up and hit them or something. But then I tried searching all mail for it, couldn't find it. I don't know what the hell happened. So, yeah. I didn't get to read that whole email. I just saw where you got the prototype and you realized it was smaller than you thought. So if you asked me anything, I apologize because I didn't respond because I didn't get to read the whole thing. Just wanted you to know. What's a good slip for the... If you can get a Northwoods Leatherworks slip, that would be my first recommendation. Very thin, comfortable, but if you don't like the knife showing, some people want to cover the whole knife, then you could, well, also, I don't know if you can get one of those. You could try Duty's Daggers. He makes good slips. You could try Tailored by Cortez. He makes great slips. You could try Grizzled Bear Leather Co., or I forget exactly the whole name, Leathercraft. He's usually in the chat. You could try to get one of these. Well, this is from Jack Wolf, but yeah. Stevie says Lancelot Leather. That's a great suggestion. I'll show you. I have a couple here. Here's one from Lancelot. Joe does great work. Let me see. This is a slip he made me for the Tactile Bear, actually, which is a knife. That's what this was. The inspiration was for this knife. So almost fits perfectly, but he can make you whatever. Yeah, that's a great option. I would hit up Lancelot Leather. You could check out edcroundtable.com. See what he has on the site now, and you can use Lefty10 for 10% off. Or you can message him and see if he can make you a custom slip. So those would probably be the options I would give you. Thanks, Scuba Steve. I still remember that fucking live stream where you went on the live stream with Steve, Super Steel Steve or whatever, and you kept calling him Scuba Steve. Fucking hilarious. Grizzle Bear Leather Crafting. There you go. He's here too. He makes slips. And according to Brian, he makes amazing slips. So that's good. You got an endorsement right there. And here's another endorsement for Joe at Lancelot Leather. So I think we got some options for you. All right, I'm going to pull the winner. Yeah, I got that email level on up. Thanks. I don't know if that you just replied to your email so I could see it. Thank you. I'll read it when I get a chance. Your emails are usually long as shit, so I need to be taking a shit when I read it. Where was I going? Okay, here. I'm going to pull the winner. 66 entries. Let's see who wins. Amanda. Nope. Maroney. Sorry. I swear it stopped. The Maroney. Hey, shout out to you. The Maroney. Hit me up at LeftyEDC88@gmail.com. I just put my email in the chat. Hit me up there with your address, and I will get this out to you. Make sure you include your social security number, your bank account number, routing number, and your address so that I can, I'm just kidding. Just give me your address. That joke is not funny, but I still do it every time. And then I was going to say, oh, one other thing I wanted to show you was this pen. I didn't check to see if I had anything new to show you. I don't think I do anyway. But I have this pen. I don't know if I showed you guys this last time. but it's from Arrow Crafted. It's an American company, American-made pen, and it's super simple. It's literally just a clicker piece that goes down and then locks into like a tab here. So you can basically push this, and then the spring here. So you can push this up and down, nothing happens, and you have to kind of see that little oval shape. So you push down and then over, and it locks into place. And now you have your pen, and then when you're done, you just click it up. Once you get the hang of it, it's like once you know you're holding it the right way, then you can play with it. You can just fidget with it by, man, my contacts are dry as shit. Just doing this or dropping it. But it's got good tension. It's pretty satisfying when it clicks out. And it is so comfortable in the hand. It writes unbelievably well. And it's small as shit. This is a Parker refill. I think they also have they have different sizes because it's pretty like universal in a sense. They just have to make basically this part, the tube, right? They could interchange this piece and this piece on every one of them. But basically, if I take it apart, you have a spring and the head there. And then you have a Parker refill in this version. There's a G2 mini version and maybe a full-size G2. And then this is it. This is the piece. That's it. No, it's not a moving part either, I guess it is moving, but it's not like there's no hinge in here. There's no, like most click pens have a mechanism or whatever, like, or a detent system or something, like my Otmog pen. So simple. It's just this little mini bat looking thing. And I guess there's a little lip in there somewhere. So when you put it back together, you literally just drop that guy in, make sure it falls out, drop in your refill, drop your spring on, put on the cap or whatever this thing's called, the head, screw it together, and you're back together. It's fucking genius, dude. I don't know why nobody thought of that before. Small, slim, light, titanium, fucking amazing. Now, I don't know how much they are, and they're dropping in a couple weeks or something like that. My guess is they'll probably be like $100. Usually the bottom of the price line for a USA-made pen or anything in titanium would be $100. So I doubt it would be more because it does seem simple, but I could be wrong. They said they were going to send me some video of the production because I asked, do you have footage of you making the pen? Because that would be cool to share. And they said they would send me some stuff. So I'm hoping to include that in my video around the drop. So that would be cool. But yeah, Arrow Crafted. All right. All this and a disassembly. Yep, there you go. It's oh, here it is. LeftyEDC88@gmail.com. There you go, Maroni. It's also, if you go to my channel, it's in my like bio thing. It's also on my link tree. It's like everywhere. So should be able to get it. But that's it. Thank you guys for hanging out forever. And I enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a great night. And I'll see you guys next week. Love you. Peace.